Alright, it's time for another week of ZTGD Radio. This is episode 762 for September 4th, 2023. It's a holiday in America.
And Canada.
Is it what's the holiday?
Oh, is it really?
Labor Day.
Oh, that's
Oh, it's the same thing.
Same thing.
I didn't know that.
yeah. But it's party time. We got everybody up in here. We've got the whole crew. We got Anthony.
I mean, I just talked, so yes.
We got Drew.
Base.
We got Terrence.
I'm here too.
We got the Wombat.
Word.
And we have 3 out of 5 people playing Starfield, so guess what we're going to talk about first?
Base.
Space! Let's talk about
Space.
space.
The one place that hasn't been touched by capitalism.
Capitalism, yeah.
But except
Oh,
it
man.
Not
has-
anymore.
Man, not in Starfield, huh?
I was just saying, not since Elon Musk started getting into shit.
Yeah, you buy candy bars on Mars.
Jeff Bezos trying to also get to space.
I mean, he went.
Wait, don't
and
run
then
from- don't run
unfortunately,
from-
he came back.
Was that a
Don't-
Mars bar reference? Is that what you were
That
doing?
was. There you
That's
right. Thank
immediately
you.
what went through my head. I was like, wait, did he just
It went
reference
over my
Mars
head.
Ball?
I wish you hadn't exposed that terrible joke to me.
I've never seen a Mars bar in my life.
What?
Oh, they're really good.
They don't exist in the South, I don't think.
I mean,
Oh, okay.
y'all
The
ain't made
Mars
it.
they're
Candy
not
Company
bad.
exists, but I've never seen a Mars
Yeah, 'cause I'm
bar.
assuming you have M&Ms.
M&Ms and stuff like that, yeah, but the
see,
Mars
that's
bar,
like-
I've never seen it before.
That's like we can't find like moon pies up here. Like you.
Oh,
get
man, I
those,
just
like,
had a
in the
moon
South
pie.
everywhere.
I just had a moon pie yesterday.
You can't beat a moon
Did you?
pie, man.
I did, yeah.
Go,
My
go.
Planet Cheer
aunt's
wine,
deli
baby.
is selling
Oh, God.
moon pies now.
Nice.
Snickers.
I'm gonna have to come to your aunt's deli.
Snickers almond is what you'd have to look for, Drew.
Oh, Snickers almonds are good too.
Especially
That's
with
just a Mars bar, apparently.
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
okay.
Mars bars.
I'm not a big
Mars.
Snickers guy.
Eh,
Mars bar is basically that without any nuts in it.
that's a lot. That's not a lot of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts.
Isn't that what a Milky Way is?
Yeah, they're very
Uh,
similar.
Okay.
Some-
Very
Somewhat,
similar,
yeah.
but not the same.
It's all
Gotcha.
diabetes.
I do love a Milky Way.
I love the dark Milky Ways. Those are really good. Or what they call midnight is what they're called.
You like
Yeah,
the veiny
yeah.
ones? Is that what you're into?
Yeah.
The libs are trying to take the dick veins off the
dick
Mars
veins
bar.
off your Snickers bar.
Oh.
Anyway, I guess we could just start with Starfield because that's going to cover like 3 people.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
Talk about space.
Space. So Starfield is out in early access. Ryan and I have been playing it for about 2 weeks now.
Ish, yep.
Terrence has been playing it for 2 days now.
But he's putting
Yes.
the same amount of time.
I
I was
Like
going to say
more
it's
hours
probably
than you
about
guys.
the same. Yeah, about
Yeah.
the same amount of time as I have.
I don't know. I finished the main quest campaign. I've gone back, done some side stuff. So I've put quite a bit of time into it. I forget what level I am, but yeah, I've played
So-
quite a bit.
As somebody who has not played this game, let me ask you this. Would you say this is probably the best main story of a Bethesda game, in your opinion?
That's a good question.
Because I'll be honest with you, the main story of a lot of Bethesda games is kind of meh.
Why are
Yeah.
also most of them you chasing after a relative?
Right?
Yeah.
I think this one is pretty good, but you got to get past a certain point.
Mhm.
So it takes a while to rev up.
For the story, yes. For the game, no. Because as soon as you land, like the opening, Bethesda games always have that like intro to the character, and it's usually pretty like from the Skyrim cart ride to, the different.
That Skyrim cart ride is a nightmare, and I hate it.
This
So-
one is kind of generic.
Yeah.
But as soon as the shit hits the fan, it gets interesting, which is within like 20 minutes.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you're going to have your intro. I mean, I'm guessing you also do like your stats and stuff there too, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
No, not really. Well, I mean, you kind of.
Your
It's
perks,
kind of built in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like you get knocked out, and they're like, "Oh, do you remember?" And then into the character creator.
Do you
remember what you look like?
Yeah.
It's
Yep, that's
So-
exactly what
so-
happens, and then you get to pick.
So I mean, I haven't actually looked at like the stats. You know, like you know how you have your special from Fallout, or you choose your your constellation stuff from Skyrim, stuff like that. So this game has that.
It has.
It has perks.
Yeah, so like you get to pick 3. You get to pick a background and then 3
traits is what they're
traits,
called.
yeah.
Traits. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so you get one of the traits might be my character, one of my traits is Neon Street Rat. And so my character grew up on the streets of Neon, and so with that you get extra dialogue options in certain scenarios, and you get I don't know, something extra in Neon. I don't remember what it is. And then another of my traits is something to do with space, where I have more health and oxygen when I'm in space than I do when I'm on a planet. And then I picked a trait called Introvert, where you get more stats, and I can't remember which stats they are, when you're by yourself than you do when you're with companions.
So, all right. So I know I'm asking a lot of questions. I'm kind of playing like devil's advocate here, but not devil's advocate. So when you level up, do you get a point that you put into something, or how does that work?
Yes, yeah. And so when you level up, you it's got a little bit of a mix of a sort of traditional RPG level up setup and the Bethesda special, where you, let's say you want to put a point into shotguns, right? You put a point into shotguns, and that unlocks the badge. And that the rank 1 of that makes your shotguns do 10% extra damage.
Okay.
And then once you unlock the badge, there are challenges that let you unlock extra ranks of that badge. So, for example, if you're rank 1 of shotguns, the challenge is to kill 20 enemies with a shotgun. And when you kill 20 enemies with a shotgun, then you can spend a skill point on rank 2 of shotguns, which makes them do 20% more damage. Mm-hmm. And so you got to kind of balance how you spend your skill points and decide whether or not you want to increase ranks of badges you already have or unlock new badges.
New badges. Okay.
Can we
Well, go ahead.
I was going to say, can we also talk about how many fucking skills there are?
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's so many.
I
And
think
I'm
there's
a lot.
early.
So-
Like, I'm only level 10.
Yeah,
Jesus.
what is it, Terrence? We were talking about before the show. There's like 6 rows or 6 columns.
Mm-hmm.
Each
Yeah, I
column.
think there's 16 in each, and there's 5 genres, basically. 16 to 18, I think, in each, and there's 5 sort of verticals.
and each
He
one
is
has
right.
5 levels.
Right.
So
So-
I mean, I'm going to other Bethesda games or other RPGs. Could you spec as a dumb idiot who's really strong?
It doesn't. It doesn't have
really
like
have that.
traditional.
It doesn't work like that?
It doesn't have traditional like here you get more health, here you get more charisma, here you get more. Like those are not. They're built into the skills within the tree.
Well,
Okay.
that's exactly right. There's not stats for that.
Mm-hmm.
Ken's right. So like there's a badge that is persuasion that increases your chances of success when you're trying to persuade people with dialogue options, or there's a badge for having increased health and stuff like that. So they don't but there's not like you don't have stats like what's the Fallout system?
Special.
Yeah, you don't have that.
Okay.
It's
So,
just
but can you create like a build? Like I could be like a melee build if I wanted
Yes.
to. Or...
There's
Okay.
you
the-
can. Yes.
like the combat has like shotguns, pistols, melee, and then over in the physical one, there's also a boxing trait.
Yep. And that's a
Yeah.
background thing that you can pick too for the
Mhm.
boxing
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, if you
And
pick that
background
you're a
will give you some
bouncer.
of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your spacesuits can also buff those stats as well.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
All your equipment basically can buff any of your stats and or damage against specific enemy types.
So charisma, you talked about it a little bit. Charisma, can you do like, is charisma just like one big stat, or like, so like let's go into a dialogue option, and I can either intimidate this dude, or I can use science to beat him, or I can use nothing like that.
It doesn't really work like that. It's more of like a so basically what happens is when there's an option. So you'll have your normal dialogue options. Sometimes you'll have a special dialogue option that's unlocked based on your background. And then you'll have sometimes a dialogue option that says persuasion. And when you pick that one, it drops you into a persuasion minigame. And you're basically trying to fill up a bar.
Are they going back to Oblivion?
Not. I mean, a little bit, yeah.
Hell, a joke.
You're trying. No, it's not really like that. You're trying to fill up a bar that's got maybe like 8 bips in it. And so basically, what it'll do is it'll present you with 4 dialogue options at a time, and it'll tell you how many tries you have. So you might have, 4 tries to fill up this bar, and then each of the 4 dialogue options will have a point value assigned to it.
Yep.
And so it's like a risk reward where you can try to get 6 bips in one dialogue option, but it's harder to do. And if you fail, you would lose 6 bips if you had those already. So you got to kind of play the game of risk reward.
Can you increase the odds of a 6 bip dialogue option working?
You can if you get the persuasion skill.
And put points in it.
Yeah, and then put points in it. So the badge starts at 10% and then goes to 20%, 30%, 50% increased chances.
I have to say, I am not a fan of, like, you have to complete the challenges to upgrade the skill. So let's say you buy the pistol skill, and like Ryan said, you have to kill 20 enemies with a pistol in order to unlock level 2. I don't like that because one of them is the weight thing, the encumbrance, which, Jesus Christ, in the year of our Lord 2023, can we get rid of this fucking mechanic? It's just so annoying.
So what's the thing you gotta do to increase your weight?
You have to run with 75% encumbrance for so many meters.
For 1,000 meters.
Oh, they've gone back to the...
You have to be like encumbered and running, so you get stronger. Oh,
yes,
man.
Yeah,
and to increase your oxygen, you have to run until you run it out.
That's very much a Bethesda game design.
That's
thing.
Oblivion.
But that doesn't make it good.
They removed
that.
I actually preferred that over just suddenly becoming stronger.
Oh, the Advent Rising way.
Well, that's how they started doing it in Skyrim and stuff. And
I like that.
At least with Fallout, you had to like collect specific things. But like, I like the fact that your jumping in Oblivion was based off of how much you actually jumped.
Yeah,
like to me that was more interesting and more engaging. Now, is it annoying if you're trying to max out everything? Yes, but like at the same time, like it is just weird that one day you're suddenly able to jump when I haven't been like super high, even though I haven't been doing that. So I do kind of like to hear that that's changed. Maybe the numbers are too high to make it make sense, but
I don't know, the fact that the health regen is on the bottom tier of the physical, man, it'll take you a long time to get down there.
Oh my God, is it?
Yeah.
Wait, hang on, because I didn't even look at all the skills. Like I said, I looked at the top row. Like I was like, all right, well, let me see where I'm going to start. But I didn't actually. Holy crap!
Health regen is all the way at the bottom of the physical tree, which I think I don't remember exactly how many points you have to put in.
You have to have 10. Oh, yeah, sorry, 11. You're right. 11 points in physical to get there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I just got it the last one I was playing some more this week.
Yeah, so there's no level cap. You can just keep earning levels.
So you can technically max everything out if you want to?
You could, as far as I'm aware, yeah, but it would take you a while.
Yeah. Just leveling up is like, it's about a level an hour, if I remember correctly.
I was just about to say that.
How do you leveling up?
Oh man, I don't know what y'all are doing to get a level an hour, but I'm at like 20 hours in and I'm a level 11. So
it's doing quests like the main quests. You'll get a lot more.
Yeah,
XP.
the main ones. I've been doing the main quest because, like I've been given advice that you should mainline it and then do the side quest thing. So
that's
I've been
the advice
that.
I was given as well.
Yeah,
so
absolutely, you should.
It's about a level an hour because the main quest has been giving me like a whole level, and that's because I'm like 10 hours in. I'm level 10. Like I just hit level 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, all right, to level up. Obviously, I'm guessing killing a guy will give you some XP. Completing a quest will give you some XP. Is there any other way to level up in this?
I mean, it's Bethesda RPG, like discovering places and
mining.
You
can level up through mining.
Crafting,
blowing up.
You get XP points for crafting. It's only like 1 or 2, but
yep.
Okay. This game has literally everything you think it has, and
it's like a mix of. And I know not all of these are Bethesda games, but bear with me. It's like a mix of Skyrim, Fallout, The Outer Worlds, and Mass Effect.
Yeah, it has definitely some Mass Effect tones to it.
With a little bit of Elite and a little bit of No Man's Sky, but not really.
The ship combat is very much Elite dangerous. For sure.
Yeah, it's pretty close. Yeah, So I will say, number one, I as a fan of Bethesda games, I'm really enjoying the game so far. I've seen a lot online, a lot of chatter about space, and I gotta say, space. I have to say that definitely, so the way the game is built, if you go into it expecting like a space sim or a space travel sim, you're going to be disappointed because that's not what it is at all. It's it's very light touch on the outer space stuff. You get basically you can jump to the area immediately outside of a planet or a moon or whatever, or space station sometimes. But like if your expectation is like an Elite that you can put your engines on full blast and drive to a relatively close planet or stellar body, that's just not the way it works here. It's all fast travel basically. Everything is fast travel. So it, in my opinion, and I understand based on the type of game that it is, because it's a Bethesda game, that it's not really where the focus was. But to me, the actual outer space stuff feels small.
100%.
Like it's 100%. I'm surprised at how small it feels, considering there's so many planets and everything. But I'm the type of person that in these games, I very, very rarely ever use fast travel. Like even in Skyrim, generally I'm wandering to the next area that I want to go to because I want to see what I'm going to see along the way, and I'll get jumped by bandits, or I'll get attacked by animals, or I'll find some quest or some little cave or something that there's something to do in. And so I just make my way across the map to whatever my objective is. That's not really feasible here.
So how do you stumble onto stuff in Starfield? Can you stumble onto stuff in Starfield?
You can. Oh, go ahead. You played it longer.
You can. In space, sometimes you'll stumble on pirates attacking a ship or something like that when you jump into the area around a planet.
Yeah.
Or you might, see a satellite or something like that floating around. When you're on the ground, you can find. So everybody knows at this point that the planets aren't free roam in the sense that you can just wander the entire planet. They're tiled, so you load into a tile, and And by the way, all the people complaining about the fact that you can hit an invisible wall, you're never going to hit the invisible wall, because to hit the invisible wall, you'd have to walk. Because there's no vehicle or anything like that you can drive around the surface of the planet to get places faster. You're just walking and using your boost pack. So you're never gonna. There's nothing that would make you want to go 40 minutes in one direction to hit the wall, because
just to be an asshole. Like,
there's like when you land on a planet, in the tile you're in, there may be, I don't know, depending on the planet you're on, somewhere between 3 and 5 places of interest, and you can see them if you're close enough in your scanner. Or you can see them in the map, the surface map, and you can walk to them. But on most of the planets, it's really uninspiring stuff. Like I found an area where there had been a meteor shower, or I found a crystal formation on the surface, and you're really only on those planets to harvest resources. So like if you find a planet that has lead on it and you're on a mission to try to find as much lead as you can go down to the planet, you can harvest it by going up to lead deposits and shooting your mining laser at them, or you can build an outpost that'll sort of mine for you. But you're not going to go down to a planet and just wander around. I mean, I did that a couple times early. And then I'm like, man, this is really not. There's no point in this. It's
the same thing.
It's kind of a waste of time.
It is, but it's crazy. Like, it feels like there was more to it, because when you get to a planet and you scan it and you see all the stuff that's on it, like they totally No Man's Sky this thing where you can scan everything on the planet and unlock something, but it's really not that big a deal. It feels like it was supposed to be a bigger deal.
Well, and it's not super intuitive either, in the sense that they don't tell you that. So, like, when you land on a planet, let's say it's a planet that has 4 different types of plants that you have to try to discover while you're there. It's not like you scan the planet, or you scan the plant once.
Yeah.
And that unlocks it, or unlocks the information. You have to scan the plant. You have to scan a different instance of each plant, like, I don't know, 10 times, something like that, 8 times, to count that as scanned.
Why?
And same with I don't know. Same with aliens. Like, if you find alien life on a planet, you have to scan it. You have to scan multiple instances of that same alien.
Yep.
To count it as scanned. And by the way,
bushes and trees, all that stuff.
I'm pretty sure that was the same thing in No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, for sure.
You also can't have your actual weapon out at the same time as your scanner. You can have your mining laser out at the same time as your scanner. So you got to kind of be judicious about how you scan aliens that are trying to attack you, because you can't scan them and shoot them at the same time.
Quick tip: you don't have to put your mining laser on your quick bar. If you just pull up your scanner, it'll automatically equip.
It automatically.
I figured that out this morning.
Yeah.
And when you have your scanner out, is how you, like, it'll show like a waypoint to your next mission.
Sometimes.
Like to the objective. Sometimes.
Yeah,
sometimes.
If it can find a path.
If it can find a path, it'll show you like where to go. Yeah. But that will also, like, at least for me, like, I'll end up messed up because I have that out. And I'm like, okay, I need to go over here, and then I'm being like ambushed, and I go to pull the button, like, oh shit, I need to start shooting. But no, I pull out my mining laser.
Yeah, this game has a lot of those problems.
Yeah. Well, and it's like I said, the quests, the characters, the voice acting, all that stuff so far is really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've found some really excellent side quests. Some really good characters. The combat is actually really good. I'm enjoying the combat quite a bit, although I fucking hate the ammunition system.
Fuck the ammo. Fuck it all to hell.
The ammo. God.
There are, what did I say, 11 or 12 different types of ammunition, and it is not altogether clear. I mean, it tells you if you look in the inventory at the weapon which ammo type they use, but it's not like it's called pistol ammo, laser ammo, shotgun ammo, rifle ammo. It's, .27 caliber, .50 caliber, 1.5 kV LZR cartridge, 12.5 ST rivet. There are 3 different types of shotgun shells.
When you're in the store trying to buy ammo, it doesn't tell you like, oh, you have this gun, you need this ammo. It just tells you the ammo. So you're like, well, what the fuck should I be buying out of these 15 different types?
Yeah, you have no idea what type of ammo to buy at any given time. There are way too many times in this game where, well, let me put it this way: it's basically mandatory to carry a gun that uses each type of ammo, because there are way too many times where you're going to run out of ammo for the gun that you like. So if you have a specific, so like I have a gun that's called an Urban Eagle. It's basically like a Desert Eagle, and it's a really awesome gun, but it is not easy to find ammunition for it. And so you basically stock up when you're in the city, and then you got to make sure you've got, a different gun that uses all the different types of ammo, because when you're in a firefight, you're going to quickly run out of the ammo for the guns that you prioritize, and you got to have something else to shoot people with.
You just find one of 600 Grindles. That's what.
Can you steal a gun off of an enemy?
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and their ammo,
and their ammo. Yep.
After I kill everybody.
Sounds like I just need to spec as a boxer. That way, I never.
Yeah, you can get like axes and knives and shit and do melee combat.
Yeah, I gotta tell you though,
it sucks.
The melee combat is not where I would focus my attention, because you're gonna get smoked real fast, because the enemies. There are very, very few enemies that are melee focused.
They all
almost all of them are. Almost all of them have guns, and the aliens. Some of them are very, very aggressive. Aggressive to the point that it's going to be very hard for you to kill them with a melee weapon, because they hit a lot harder than you.
All right. So you've touched on this a little bit, and if it's a spoiler, you can tell me to shut up. You mentioned aliens. Are there intelligent aliens that you're going to run into? Because so far all I've seen is humans.
Let's not talk about that.
Okay. So that's yes.
Drew, shut up.
I don't know is why I'm telling you let's not talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I know the answer, but I'm not going to talk about it.
This conversation is already starting to get into territory that I don't want to get into.
Yeah.
So,
well, the only thing I'm saying is, so you've played a good amount of this game, and you've mainly fought human enemies, aside from
and
the monsters.
Monsters on planets. Yeah.
Those are pretty common. Like you're running like big fucking like praying mantis looking shit, and like
Yep.
Yeah,
but it's not common though. Like it's not a ton. It's not like there's just creatures everywhere. Like you'll get on a plane and see like 2 or 3 of them. Yeah.
I think I read somewhere, and I believe it, that 90% of the planets in the game are barren, meaning they don't have flora or fauna. It's just minerals, basically.
Fucking rocks.
Yeah. So yeah, I do want to. I want to circle back to the point about outer space, because I really want to make it clear to people that if they're expecting something more than a Bethesda RPG that also happens to take place in space, this is not your game. Like, if you want this to be Elite Dangerous or even No Man's Sky, that is not what's here.
No.
What's here is the planets are basically levels that you load into. You are not flying planet to planet and landing and, docking manually with spaceships or landing inside landing bays for spaceships like you would in Elite. Yeah. None of that is here. It's you get close enough to a space station, you hit the X button to dock, and you see a cutscene.
Yep.
you want to land on planet X, you fast travel to its orbit. You're outside of the planet. You point at it. You hit X to go to the star menu or the map. You pick your landing spot on the map. You go to a cutscene where you land. You are not flying in and out of atmospheres, and it's not. I'm very surprised. This is going to sound more harsh than I want it to, because it is still fun, but I'm very surprised at how limited the space side of this game feels. How sort of deprioritized, I guess, is the way for me to put it. The space side of it feels.
Go ahead.
It's much more of a. So much of the stuff in space is either, dogfighting, right, or fast traveling. So even like if you decide before, if you haven't played the game yet, and you say, you know what I think would be fun would be to be like a smuggler or a freighter. Those are perfectly viable gameplay mechanics here, but it's not like being a freighter in Elite, where you have to going in, I'm picking a ship that carries a lot of stuff, and I've got to be careful because there's going to be pirates and stuff like that, and I got to make sure that I can. I got to make sure that I can refuel and all that stuff. It's especially if there are places you've already been to. Carrying cargo in this game is like 4 menus of fast travel. If it's a place that you haven't been to, there's more fast travel where you have to fast travel to systems you've been to, and then from there jump to the next one.
Depending on your grav drive, you can upgrade that. Yeah.
So that was my question. Was like when I jump into Skyrim for the first time, as soon as I'm out, go wherever I want to. Like go to Whiterun, I can't just go left. So where's the exploration come in? So can I choose a? It seems like I'm limited on the system that I can go to, but can I choose a system that's nearby that I haven't been to?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. As long as it's within your grav drive
range.
You got to be range. Yeah, you got to be able to jump to it with your grav drive.
You can do multiple jumps to get to a further away place if you want to, but you got to play menu game for like 5 times.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, sure, but I mean, as long as I'm going to a place I've never been to before without having to do a story bit,
no,
I'm okay
you don't
with
have
that.
to. But you might get wrecked. You might get wrecked when you get there. So
because there are levels.
Have levels. Yeah. Yep.
Do they at least warn you before going there? Like, hey, this place is like 5 levels above you.
Well, you'll see it. So, like,
in
when you choose
the star
system,
map.
Yeah, in the star map, you'll see, like, I picked one that I was going to go to, and it said level 40. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to go over there. So you'll see, like, what level that star system is when you pick it.
Okay. Yeah, and they also show you if it's a star system that is too high a level for you, it shows up as red in the map.
Is it viable to power level in this game and then go back to lower level places and just kill stuff in one shot?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question.
When you go back to the original, they're still like level 1 and 2s.
Oh yeah. Well, so yes, that is true. You can power leveling is not.
It's not the right term, but I was basically like,
it is. But you can level up and go back to lower.
You're talking like to farm some stuff, right? And level it up by like farming a bunch of.
Yeah, if I just like I'm not doing the main story and then go and get to level 12 and then go do the main story. Am I wrecking dudes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Depends. Okay. Yes. In the early systems, you are. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. That's because Bethesda's always had that issue of the enemies level up with you.
No,
so
they
you're
do
never.
not.
They don't in this.
The final story-wise, the final boss kind of caps out at a level.
Okay.
So that level will always be there. So if you're higher when you go in, it's going to be easier. If you're lower, it's going to be harder. That's just the way it is.
Yep.
Shoot
Gotcha.
me what
Yeah.
that level is, because I'm curious. I don't want to spoil it for anybody that doesn't want to know, but please message me.
Yeah,
that,
I'll
sir.
let you know. I'll let you know what the number is.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and so you will too, like, you'll come across, so for example, the other day I was in the area around a planet, and I got hailed by a random ship that basically just said, hey, just to warn you, there's a whole lot of pirates in the Altair system, so watch out if you go that direction. And then it adds a mission, like an activity, to your mission log. That's the other thing. There's a shit ton of missions and activities and stuff like that to do.
There's
Yeah,
like
go
six
ahead,
different.
Terrence,
There's like
'cause
6
I've
different
talked a lot.
types, I think.
Yeah, and they're all like the majority of the side stuff is like you're going to overhear it. And
Yeah.
I think I put this in the chat. So like you're on a planet like in one of the cities and you're just walking from point A to point B. By the time you get to point B, you'll have 7 different activities because you've overheard people talking about pirates in this system, or a bank robbery over here, or this person's trying to fix a junction box and this is happening. And you're like, "What damn?" Like there's so much stuff to do. Like it's almost overwhelming. Like there's a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
And the
Is
random
most of
hails-
it is most of
Go
it like fetch quest stuff though?
Depends on the type. So it's best to like learn which missions are the types you want to do.
Yep.
Because activities
Yeah, 'cause
can be
they are-
like use a fucking crafting table.
Right.
Yep.
And there's
Yeah.
and there's factions and stuff too that'll give you missions, and so
Yep.
some missions will increase your reputation with a different faction.
And there's missions where you'll have to infiltrate other factions and stuff that
Yep.
that I stumbled upon by something just because I pressed the wrong button, ended up a whole side quest. Like I'm like, holy crap. Like there's tons of stuff to do.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different ways you can complete quests and stuff as well, depending on how you want to sort of role play and what you want your character to do.
I almost feel like
the mission structure and the quest structure in this game is, I mean, it's the anti No Man's Sky in the sense of there are a million different things to do. You will never run out of stuff to do here.
No Man's Sky has that like really generic like follow the signal story, and that's about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's so
I know
much
they've
more
added
to
to that game, but I haven't
Sure.
gone back to it since they've added to
I
it.
have.
But
They've it's nothing like this. Like they've added some stuff that has like some branching paths and stuff like that, but it's still kind of follow the basic, signal kind of thing. It's not too much far from
And I do stress hard. I know none of you like to do it. Finish the main quest.
yeah, that's what I'm doing
it,
right
man.
now.
Yeah, me too. I am. And that's what I was going to say. So because you were talking about the different space stuff, and to me, because you like my brother from another mother when it comes to that, like I enjoy the space stuff. I want to take off. I want to land. I want to buzz a tower on a planet. Like I want to do all that. So this feels like a stripped down, or maybe a working version, offline working version of what Star Citizen wants to be, minus all the space stuff. Because Star Citizen wants to have these different hub planets that have these different factions and missions that take you out to all this different stuff. And Starfield has all that. What Starfield doesn't have is the jump drive and all the extra space stuff that Star Citizen has, where you can land on a planet, you can fly through the atmosphere, and if you see that thing, you can engage your stuff, and you can actually be in the seat, seeing the stars fly by. It's not just a cutscene.
Yeah.
And that's really what this game is missing for me. Like if it had that, oh man, it would be so much better.
I agree with you. Yeah. It's I'm surprised at how much I'm missing that aspect of this game. Like I'm surprised how much not really having that option in space, how much it's sort of how much I miss it is the best way I can think to put it.
Exactly. I feel the same way.
It's because the game itself, the game around all the rest of that stuff is really good. And again, as a fan of Bethesda RPGs, it's definitely the most polished that they've ever made.
Definitely.
But it's just not. It's not a space sim at all. And so if you've
Right.
got any thoughts that that's what you're getting into here, it's not what it is.
Yeah, definitely temper those expectations because it's not that.
Yeah, now I have run into some bugs. It's definitely the least buggy Bethesda launch game. But some traditional Bethesda stuff like characters talking but their mouth not moving, or characters talking to me and another character at the exact same time, so the dialogue is overlapping.
Have you seen people walking in place?
There's there's pathing issues. That's going to be a standard.
Yeah, there's pathfinding issues for sure.
Yep.
Especially, I've had a couple times where somebody was supposed to lead me somewhere, and they just stop and don't move for a minute. But definitely smaller of that than their past games for sure. So if you've dealt with that stuff in older Bethesda games, this one's not going to bother you.
Do they do the Oblivion Shuffle? And by that, I mean, do they go from walking to totally hauling ass to walking again?
I haven't really noticed that.
Anybody do that? Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I know what you're talking about, though.
Because it's obviously they're supposed to be in a certain scene, and you got there a little bit too fast, and they're like, "Oh shit!" and they get there.
I will say that sometimes your companions do that, go from walking to running real fast to try to catch up to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't seen NPCs do that.
That is one of my issues with it, is that sometimes, actually most times for me, I feel like the companions are always too far away from me. Like I always end up in a fight without them. Like I finished a lot of the first combat with because you meet Sarah first. Like I finished a lot of the stuff where she wasn't even in the room. Like, and then she comes running in with a pistol, and I'm like, what? Were you running like cleanup here, Starsky? Like what the fuck? Like I don't understand. Like they're always too far away. In fact, on one of the early missions, I came across a bank robbery that was happening, and you have to have a certain person in your party for this. And I went and talked because I failed it the first time, and I like reloaded into it. So the first time everything worked right because the companion was with me and the dialogue and everything triggered. Well, the second time I ran up because I knew where I had to go, and I started talking to the person, and it didn't trigger because my companion was like 50 paces behind me. So the dude was acting like, well, get the fuck out of here. I don't know you or anything else. So I had to wait for my companion to catch up for the cutscene to actually trigger the way it's supposed to. So some of that stuff can happen too. So make sure, when you're playing, that your people are close by, because they might be needed for something and you might be against the wall that's not doing it right, but it could be just your person's out of range, which is weird, but whatever. And there's no option to make them follow you closer unless I'm missing something. Like you can't like control them. Like they just do their own thing.
Yeah, there's weird stuff in this game, but it is.
I still love it though.
And that's the thing is like Ryan said, like it's got to be. You have to understand that it is exactly what you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Bethesda game, and it is in space, and that's what it is. It's not No Man's Sky.
Nope.
It's not Elite
Dangerous.
It's not Star Citizen. It is a fucking Bethesda game that is set in space.
Oh. Yep. Game of the Year potential.
No.
Not for me. No, I've got a lot of. I got a lot of game left to play, so maybe it'll be there by the time I get done. It'll definitely be in the top 5. Maybe the top 3. It right now is not the best game I've played this year. We'll see where I'm at in 30 hours or whatever, but
yeah,
I agree.
I wouldn't be shocked to see it in my top 10, but it may not. It may not make it.
And I mean, he's finished it, so yeah, I'm pretty much dead with right where Brian is at. Like I still have more game to play, but I was thinking about this morning. I was like, is it game of the year? And I was like, you know what? I don't think it has breached that for me yet. Could it? Maybe, but I still got more game to play. But yeah, I don't know.
In another year, maybe, but not this year.
Yeah, this year's just
not this
so
year.
packed, man. Now, will it win like Xbox's Game of the Year? Probably more than likely.
I was about to say, is this the first Series X game to have? Is this the console seller?
For me personally, I would say that's Hi-Fi Rush, but that's just me.
Well, sure, but I'm just a lot of people didn't play that game.
No, and then that's disappointing because they should. It's fucking amazing.
It is fucking amazing.
But is this console seller?
Absolutely, people will buy a console to play this game for sure.
Okay,
yeah,
it's a Bethesda RPG. Of course they will.
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
That's why the 360 kicked off so hard because it had fucking Oblivion, man.
Yep. Yeah.
It's a good ass game, and you get it on Game Pass.
Game.
So it's not a 10 out of 10, but it is a good ass game.
And I feel like the stuff that you see online, like that developer that was talking about, anybody that gave this game less than a 9 or a 10 is only doing it for clicks, and this game is perfect and great, and if you're stuck on this, you can just Google it and all of that. And he was like shooting that at reviewers, and I didn't realize he was a developer before. I think y'all said he did Duke
George?
Yeah, it's George.
Yeah.
You don't give George oxygen. That's fine.
So George doesn't like reviewers because reviewers were like, your game kind of sucks type of thing.
Oh, they were honest. Is that what that was?
Yeah. I mean, George Broussard really shouldn't talk about much. He's one of those guys that is kind of like notorious. From my understanding, he's not a complete asshole, but it's just he wasn't putting out good material, and people said, "Hey, man, this is not good."
I didn't question, writing my review, I didn't question any score that I saw. Like, I feel like if you think it was a 7, it was probably a 7 to you. Like, I can see it. I can totally see it. There are problems here, and there are things it does not do well. I mean, that's just...
Yep. I would probably land on that same score. Yeah. And that's what I said to, like, his thing on Twitter, because, I'm fucking chaos agent. Like, of course I'm going to stir the pot. But I was nice. I wasn't even typical me. I was like, man, that's an opinion. But, like, I just feel like, that's kind of harsh to say something like, because, like, reviewers usually have the game pre-release. Nigga, we ain't got no Google to search for nothing. No, it's only what we find. Like, Ryan, I think you were the one that had like a hard time doing Demon's Story or Demon's Soul, whatever the first of those
Demon's Souls, when it first came out, yeah,
because you were the first one. Like, I mean, sure, people posted walkthroughs later, but like when you're the first one, you're limited to what you find. So I mean, Google is nice and it's there, but it's not really feasible. I don't know. And him being a developer, like, nigga, you should know that. Like, what the okay, whatever.
There was no. There's no real resources on Google here for this game.
Not yet.
Playing it pre-release, right?
I'm sure
it just doesn't really work that way.
I'm sure there'll be stuff I see now that people discover that I'm like, oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Right.
Oh, yep, for sure.
It also shouldn't be required. I'm sorry, like, if your game, like, this is a single player game about exploration. And
go ahead.
That's
a big point.
If you're going to make parts of the game difficult to the point where, and I mean, like, difficult in the sense that it doesn't make sense, that people have to look this shit up, then, like,
it's bad design.
You've done a bad job of describing your game. It's one thing if we're talking about, like, more obtuse elements in, say, a Dark Souls game where there's a multiplayer aspect, where, that the whole sort of idea is that the community works together to figure it out. That's a bit different. But, like, if you're just trying to play the game and you're having problems, like...
if I'm just trying to figure out how to get to my fucking ship's inventory, and I can't figure the fuck out...
Exactly. Like, nigga, I had to come to y'all to figure it out. Like, I literally walked around my entire ship looking for something, and I thought I went slow enough. Like, I'm like, this makes no sense. And then Ryan was like, oh, it's in between a thing, and I'm like, oh my god. Like, why did the game tell me that?
Computer on the wall.
It shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be that hard.
No, it shouldn't. And this game has a lot of those instances where it's stuff where you're like, oh my god, like I've stumbled upon stuff and I'm like, why didn't it just tell me how to do that? Like that would have been important. Like, so.
Also, just to talk about that, the same guy who said he just finished a 9-hour session.
Yeah, I think
I wish I had 9 hours to play a video game.
Right? Like,
I may get that a week.
In one sitting? My God.
That's a job.
That's exactly.
No,
Yeah.
if somebody would pay me to do that, I would gladly do it. But nobody's going to pay me to play a video game.
I mean, you could go be a tester, which is a horrible job.
Yeah.
Well, I got to turn up the graphics on level 3, man.
That's right. You got to tune them graphics up.
Yeah.
Build your community, and then you get paid for it.
That's right.
That's the trick, man.
That's like 45 minutes of Starfield. So let's talk about some other games. Anthony, we'll kick off with you.
Why?
Because you played Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, and I want to
okay, so
gush about how awesome that game is.
Before we start talking about that, let me talk about the other stuff, because that's, you leave on a high note. So I started up Fallout 3 because I was like, you know what?
You got the Bethesda FOMO.
Maybe. I was like, you know what? I haven't played that. I mean, I haven't played that since I bought my 360, because the PC version wouldn't work for the longest time because it had games for Windows. Remember that, everybody?
I try not to.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess it was removed finally, so cool. And playing that game, I remembered why I did. I basically just mainlined the story and then kind of called it a day, except for a little bit of the DLCs. I know I played all of Operation Anchorage because I wanted the stealth suit and power armor, but that game's green. That game is way too green.
Everything's green.
I hate it. It is awful. So I am trying to get the PC. Yeah, no.
Well, everything in New Vegas is orange, so
the orange I find not as bad because
Aren't you glad it isn't?
Oh my god!
Step into traffic. I can't look at that game. It's too hard to see anything.
Yeah.
The game's dark, and then they're and here's a green tint, and I'm gonna say it right now, that's a terrible design in all video games. I do not know why Deus Ex's Human Revolution decided that yellow was the color of everything. Stop doing that. Stop baking in just this tint over everything. It's gross. You shouldn't have to mod that out. It just shouldn't be there. And if you really need it to be there, allow me to turn it off, because it's so bad. No game is oh, I'm really glad that there's this yellow tint over the whole thing.
I never asked for this.
Some games better than others, but good lord. So yeah, I'm trying to get a mod up and running that takes away the filter from Fallout 3.
Hey man, nice
the sky's blue. You know the. I'm actually in the F section of my CDs, so I do have a filter CD sitting at my feet right now.
Yeah, the Terminator's brother.
Yeah. Richard Patrick.
Yeah, lead singer
brother of Robert Patrick.
Is Robert Patrick's brother. Yeah.
Was part of Nine Inch Nails on the first album.
Yeah, it's crazy to me.
And
I did not know any of that. But
yes, Trent Reznor for some more money, and Trent's if you want more money, why don't you go deliver pizzas or whatever? So he's you know what, I'm going to go start my own band.
Yep.
They're actually on good terms. But yeah. Anyways, so after putting that aside, I was you know what, it's time for some Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. But before we get to that, I also have 30XX.
Yes, you do. I forgot. Yes.
Roguelike Mega Man game, alright. Don't know what else to say about it. It looks me sad. I will say this. You know what? So there is 3 different ways to play this game. There is the standard roguelike mode. And then there's a mode where you do not lose progression. They specifically say the levels are still randomly generated. That is still... Hold on. That is still the case. However, if you die somewhere, they do have continue points in the levels, so you only have to do so much a level, and you don't lose anything from it.
Why
so
can't
you keep
people
all your
just
items
make
and stuff.
fucking video games? Why do they gotta have rogue shit?
It extends the life. It extends the life period.
Okay, I can still play Mega Man. If you make a good game, you don't need me to keep coming back for randomized shit.
Are you playing Mega Man Dive?
No, Mega Man. Number 1, number 2, number 3, they were all the same game from start to finish. I still play them. If you make a good game,
You also
do
play.
not-
Hold on. You also play some real crap. So let's not.
Sure, but I'll tell you
Yeah.
when it's crap. The difference is Mega Man
Like
is
my
not
man.
crap.
No, I'm just saying.
Shooting at the invisible enemy in the sky. I guess
Fucking
you're trying to kill God.
if you gotta make random shit to keep people playing your game to hope it gets better, then it wasn't good to begin with. It's my opinion.
Okay, well, my opinion is that
20XX was really good.
30XX
It was
is
fun until I
pretty
played
good.
it again, and I was like, "Oh, this shit changed, and I lose all my
30XX
progress." Fuck off.
Looks like a. I don't. It almost looks more like a Game Boy Advance game. All the graphics are a little bit more bright, like they were on early games because they didn't have a backlight, so all the games had their palettes almost pastel colors. I like it. It's good. I think my biggest issue is that in other roguelike games, you start off with very little in your hub world. This game doesn't do that at all, and it's just too much stuff at once. Ease me into it. Rogue Legacy, which I think is the best example of this. You build up your little town in 2, and you have your castle in 1. And it's not just, throwing a bunch of mechanics at you at once. I did like the tutorial. It shows you the 2 characters. One plays more like Zero, one plays more like X. It's alright. I haven't played, a ton of it, but it's pretty good. Now, let's talk about Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, which is gonna be, one of the top games of this year for me. Holy crap. I will tell you right now, I like the idea of Jet Set Radio more than I like Jet Set Radio.
Yes.
It definitely has some.
I feel the exact same way.
But I love the game.
You try to play that game today, even the HD version, it feels bad to play. The style is there, from the music to the visuals. And then, the controls, you just kind of go, man, I wish this played more like, I don't know, Tony Hawk that predates this by a significant margin. Well, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is that game, basically.
Mm-hmm.
They got Hideki Naganuma coming back and doing music, so it sounds a bit like Jet Set Radio. It looks like Jet Set Radio. They've aped the art style directly. It is weird, just over the first gang you go up against is called the Franks, and when describing them, they're like, yeah, it's it's a mix of people from different backgrounds. Yeah, they're literally people of different backgrounds that have been stitched together, all of Frankenstein's.
Which is
and
awesome.
And I'm like, this is awesome, and it's these sort of open world areas, and the whole idea is to earn enough reputation to take on small challenges. And I mean, the opening is really dark in comparison. Spoiler for the game, I suppose, which is literally the tutorial. You're playing as a character who has been decapitated, and there's a robot head put on instead, and you're trying to get your head back.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I took the code because I was kind of interested, but I had a feeling I wasn't going to enjoy it. No, I love it. It's fantastic. There are areas that I can see collectibles in, new graffiti to unlock, and I can't get to them yet, so I'm going to have to come back with some sort of power. You start with nothing. You can get off your I guess we want to call them vehicles. But because you can ride it. Right now I only have a skateboard, but in the tutorial I was using rollerblades, and I know you can get a bike as well. And you're grinding and doing tricks and everything, and man, it's a lot of fun. Not only does the game feel fun, the art style is fun. It feels like the developers had fun making this game, which is not a thing I can say about every game on the planet, especially nowadays. This just feels like it was a true passion project from everybody, and the soundtrack that isn't Hideki Naganuma is also great. They got 2 Mello, who I actually listened to on Spotify, who has an album that is basically what if he wrote music for Jet Set Radio, and I thought it was Hideki Naganuma originally. So he's kind of doing his own thing too in there. And then there's all these other artists. Like, I love the hip hop tracks, and like I'm gonna end up buying the soundtrack at some point. Like, that's how good this bloody game is. Like, I'm just impressed up and down. Again, from a person that wasn't a fan of the game that inspired this, I really like Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. It's nuts. That's it for me. Like, unless Ken wants to go on about it too.
No, I talked a lot about it last week, so I'm really enjoying that game quite a bit. And then that comes a lot from my nostalgia for Jet Set Radio, both on the Dreamcast and the Xbox. Like, both of those games.
I've heard the Xbox one's better, right?
It is. It
is better. Yeah, for sure.
I need to. That's one that I need to play still. I own it because I found a copy of what is it, Sega GT Rally?
Yeah,
whatever,
the one that was bundled with
double
the system.
Disc.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like it was like $3, and I was like,
Sega GT Rally's actually good too.
Yeah, Sega GT is really good.
I'm sure it is, but I don't care. I was like, I will give that one a shot for $3.
Yeah, those discs were everywhere.
Yeah,
and it's a cheap way to buy that game. So
yeah. All right, Terrence, what else you got besides Starfield?
Lord. Okay. Well, a lot of the stuff I can't talk about because I'm reviewing.
Yeah,
so,
you're playing Pinocchio.
Yes, and I am playing Pinocchio. I can't talk about that and Gumbrella. I play in Blasphemous 2 as well, which I only played just a little bit. I didn't realize that it was a Soulsborne roguelike, whatever they're called. I didn't realize it was one of those games. I thought it was a Metroidvania excuse me, type of game. But it is what it is. Oh, God. And it's just so funny because I don't like the Souls games, but I swear to God I end up reviewing like all of them. And I don't even like, and I feel like I'm fair with them too. Like, I'm not even jaded because I don't like the genre. Like, I give them a fair shake because I did end up enjoying like Elden Ring and like Steel Rising. But anyway, what else? What can I talk about? I played some of the Turtles expansion that came out. That added a roguelike mini game or mode in it in survival. So you pick your character, which they added Karai, the rabbit that I can't think of his name.
Usagi Yojimbo.
Yojimbo, yeah.
Yeah, Yojimbo. They added those two, but like in this mode, so the enemies spawn and you have to obviously clear the wave, and you get one
No,
life.
Spawn's not in this game. It's a different comic.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But he's not in this game. But you know what? You can be the bosses in this game. So as you clear the different waves, you can be the like Bebop and Rocksteady. Like when you finish a level, you'll get two choices between like power ups, and it'll be like one of the health pizzas or one of the ones that give you like the unlimited super ability, or it'll be like a container of ooze, and it'll have like the person's picture on it, and you can turn into like one of the boss characters for a match, which is it's cooler. I guess it sounds cooler than it is, because like I've been Bebop and Rocksteady so far, and like they have like one move, like they don't do combos. Like they have like a kick, like Rocksteady has like a kick, and then if you hold it down, he charges his gun, and like his power ability is he throws out like the grenades, and that's it. But it's not like you can't do like a combo like with the other characters. So I don't know, but it's not horrible. Like it's pretty fun, and I'm glad they added some extra stuff in that game. And there's a bunch of skins too. Like you can make your characters, like the turtles, look like the Game Boy version of the Turtles game, where like it's just green, like the old school Game Boy. All of the characters have that color skin, and then they have like different ones from some of the other Turtle games. Their color palettes match that, which is kind of nice. What else have I played? Wayfinder. I finally got to play that, which I have to write a review for, and that. Sweet Jesus. Okay, so that is basically, I mean, it's basically Warframe. It's basically fantasy Warframe. You don't make your character. They give you like 3 or 4 to choose once you finish like the tutorial. and they have different classes. Like there's a tank and there's ranged ones that fight with guns and stuff, and then people that fight with melee weapons, different things. And so the arcanists use like magic and stuff, but it's very repetitive and very, 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 very grindy. So you're going to play the same levels over and over again because you have to get X of this resource in order to unlock this, to get this weapon, and then there's shards that you have to get to unlock the other wayfinders that have different abilities and stuff like that. Like it's very much one of those, not necessarily a gacha game, but it's like Warframe. Like there's a bunch of different systems, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, I don't understand all of them. Like I need to spend more time with it. They literally just got the servers and stuff to a point where basically they literally got to a point where people can actually get into it without waiting in a queue for hours at a time. So I'm gonna mess with it a little bit more before I write up the review. But right now, man, it's just like, man, like I like Joe Mad and I like the studio, like I like his art style and stuff, but man, that game is not what I thought it was going to be. The saving grace with it is, if you can look at it as that, is it's free to play. So it is going to be free to play like Warframe and stuff when it actually comes out.
Just remember, this is what he's doing instead of finishing Battle Chasers.
Battle Chasers, yeah, right? Because like the issues of that is coming out, but he ain't even doing shit with it. Like I was pissed off. Like, because I just read, like, I think 10 or 11. That's a whole nother tyrant. I'll have to do a comic podcast and I can go off on that. But anyways, yeah, Joe Mad, we're going to have words about he catch him in person. But yeah, it is going to be free to play when it comes out. I think it's only on PC and PlayStation 5 right now, but it will be on Xbox and stuff. I think they're aiming for later this year, if not early next. And that, outside of some more Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where I fed some blood to Grandpa. That's it. I don't think I played.
How do you feed blood to Grandpa?
Well, sit down. Let me tell you a tale. I'll tell you how to do it. But yeah, that's Baldur's Gate. We played. We did our Baldur's Gate. So, oh my, that's so much fun. Like I'm so looking forward to Tuesdays now. Like, oh, that was a blast. Like, oh man, that.
Hey, the PS5 version dropped this weekend, so Ryan could join in now.
He could.
I could, but
he said no.
I'm not.
I'm not playing that yet.
He's not.
I want to invest. I want to invest a significant amount of time in that game, and I don't have the ability to invest that much time in this game when I've still got Starfield and I've still got Zelda to finish.
Does anybody know if that version is fine? Because like there were no review codes, there were no reviews, there was no footage. Like
I've seen
no clue.
I've seen some videos. And apparently, no, it's not fine. I guess people have some complaints. Like, I didn't, watch all of them, but I saw on YouTube stuff that was posted yesterday, so I guess they've given out the codes to
It's just weird that it launched in early access on a Saturday and there was no coverage. It's just weird.
Is it performance issues, you think?
I don't know.
That's what it looked like. It looked like performance issues based on the video titles and stuff that were on YouTube. Like I said, I didn't watch them, but it was quite a few that I guess they're not exactly super happy. But yeah, that I enjoy that game. Like we're having a good time. But yeah, that's it. That's what I done played.
All right, well, I'll move on to Drew.
Honestly, besides Baldur's Gate, the only thing I've really played is Resident Evil 4.
I mean, it doesn't sound like a bad time.
No, it's actually a pretty good time. So, correct me if I'm wrong. In the original game, you fought Krauser just once, right?
Man, it's been a long time since I played. I know.
No, I don't think so. I think you fight him twice.
Okay, all right. So I fought him once.
I haven't even played the game. I think you do the first. There's the knife fight.
And
then don't you fight him mutated?
I don't know.
So, I'm pretty sure did you fight him on the island?
I fought him.
Original?
Yeah, that's where you had the quick time event fight.
Because you will fight him on the island.
Okay. Yeah.
I will not tell you what it is, but you will fight him on the island.
Yeah, I did the knife fight with him. And I did the minecart level.
Oh, yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, that was actually really cool. I did the part where you play as Ashley. That is crazy good. That is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, those things in that library are kind of fucked up.
There's so many. So to explain this to people, Ashley cannot fight back. The only thing she can do is hold up a light that freezes the plagas that are in these giant suits of armor. It can freeze them in place, but as soon as you take the light off them, they start coming after you again.
God, that
well,
game was so good.
You'll get like 7 of them after you at a time.
Jesus.
And you have to go down like this little catacomb area, and you have to solve a puzzle using the lantern that you have, and you have to leave the lantern. So now you have to run all the way back up the way you came without anything to freeze the plagas.
Holy crap.
That scares the crap out of you because you're just frantically running. And like these remakes have always done a great job. I mentioned on Phoenix Down, they've done a great job of like actually having the characters speak while the action is going. And Ashley's like freaking out, and you know she's making these little comments and stuff, and it just adds to it. Like one of my favorite things is like, because you know in older games you can play a game and they won't say anything while you're shooting stuff. I remember in Resident Evil 2 Remake, there were a couple of times where I'd shoot a zombie and they'd get back up and Leon would just be like, son of a bitch. You know, and it's like those little things right there, like, you know, make the experience really good. Resident Evil 4 does that in spades. It's really, really good.
Still blows my mind that game came out this year.
There's parts where, you know, you can shoot the head off of an enemy, and then the tentacles will come out of the neck, and it's now like that thing is trying to like slash at you. There's been a couple of times I'll shoot the head off, and then the tentacles come out, and Leon will just be like, I knew it. And I was like, it's perfect. Like he's saying what I would be saying.
Yeah,
it's really good.
I like that.
No, that game is absolutely fantastic. We're really enjoying it. Try to beat it this week. We'll see. I'm gonna try. That's all I can say. But I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, I haven't really played much of anything else.
All right.
Waiting on Starfield. I'll jump into it as soon as it unlocks.
Was it Tuesday? Is it Tuesday?
Is it Tuesday? I thought it was supposed to be like Friday of next week.
I don't remember the exact.
Tuesday.
The 6th, I think, right?
That's Tuesday.
Okay. All right, so Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yep. All right. Wombat, you got anything besides Starfield?
Yeah, so I started playing a little bit of the making of Karateka, or Karateka, depending on who you listen to in the documentary.
Karateka?
Yeah, because they call it like 3 different names.
Nice.
And it's cool. Yeah, it's a neat little documentary. It talks about some of Jordan Mechner's first couple games and some of the games that he was trying to get approved by Broderbund and
Death Bounce.
Death Bounce. So you've got some. It's neat because it walks you through like this is the original version of Death Bounce that he sent, and then this is the letter that Broderbund sent him back saying you should change this, 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 and this. And then this is the next version that he sent, and this is the letter they sent, and this is the next version he sent. So you've got like all 4 different versions of the game that he sent them. You've got, you know, versions of the original Asteroid clones that he started working on that he developed at first. You've got interviews, obviously, with him and with other folks in that sort of universe, as well as some, you know, design docs and pictures and stuff like that. It's a really cool collection, and I hope that those guys over there continue to make those for some other games from the 80s, and hopefully maybe even some bigger stuff. I'm hoping that they get a more expanded partnership with somebody like Atari and can really deep dive a lot of the bigger games of that era, because they do an excellent job.
The interviews with Jordan and his dad are fantastic.
Yeah, really. Yeah, they're really good. They're really good, for sure.
He's like, why do these games not have music?
Right. Yeah. It's pretty neat. It's a pretty neat little collection, especially if you're into video game history. So definitely worth checking out. Outside of that, I haven't really played anything I mean, other than Starfield, of course, which is where I've spent most of my time since I got that code.
I hope, whatever, karateka, I don't know, fucking whatever. How does Mechner say it?
He says karateka, right?
Karateka.
Yeah.
All right, then karateka's...
Karateka. Yeah.
Karateka.
All right.
Like karate plus ka at the end. Karateka.
Karateka.
And then
okay.
A lot of the other folks in the thing say karateka.
I've literally always called it karateka.
That's what I called it too, but
I think
he pronounces it more like the Japanese karate instead of karate. So it's like karateka.
I hope they do something.
This is reminding me, Terrence will get this. I've been watching What We Do in the Shadows, and the way Laszlo pronounced this stuff is fucking hilarious. This is making me think of that. It's
Have
so
you,
like
Arizonia?
Arizona.
Yeah.
This is how we speak in Tucson, Arizona.
Arizonia. I love him. Love Laszlo.
What was the one thing he said? He said, yeah, he's like, we stayed here and he fucked off the Manhattan.
Anyways, I hope they do something like that with Eric Chahi and Another World.
Yeah,
Because...
and I don't know that it's in here, and maybe it is, and I just haven't got there yet. I don't think it is, but since they've already worked with Mechner, I'd love to see something on Prince of Persia as well.
I love watching that old footage of him recording his brother running next to the car. That's still such a brilliant idea.
There's some cool stuff about that in this game.
Yeah, you should check these out because the documentary part of it, like, it's not even just about playing the game. It's about going through the timeline, and it's super interesting.
It's got his, like, some of his journal entries from the time. So you get to read, like, the journal entry that he put after Broderbund rejected Death Bounce. And like some of that stuff is in here too. It's really neat. His original design docs and some of the games that he had wanted to build, but either didn't have time to or didn't end up completing. Like there's design docs in here for a game that he decided he wanted to build that was basically had you up against a bunch of different enemies from arcade games that were popular at the time. So the Pac-Man ghosts and Space Invaders all sort of in the same game. That and some of that stuff I think kind of died after his Asteroids clone got sued to death. But there's some cool stuff in there.
I forgot they remade that, made Karateka in this 3D game.
Well, and
back
they
in
also
2012.
So the other thing that's cool in here is you get to play all these different versions of Death Bounce that he created, and then they actually do a new updated remake of Death Bounce, almost like a twin stick shooter.
I still need their Atari collection. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Like,
oh, dude, my game of the year last year. It was so
I
good.
know, Ken. I know.
So good.
It's one of those things where I'm just like, I'm gonna pick that up, and then it's like other things get in the way.
Like I said, I'm hoping they can deepen that partnership with Atari and also some of the other, Activision and stuff like that to maybe make some more complete collections of some of the stuff that came out back then.
Well, I'm waxing poetic about things that may or may not happen. I'm trying to build them into existence. They're making a sequel. Speaking of Another World, because it was the same publisher. Flashback. Like,
oh yeah,
another game that I would like to see some, like, originally from the rumors I've seen online, I've never seen actually any proof of it. It was supposed to be like a Godfather, like a licensed Godfather game originally that took place in the future.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I would love for someone to explain to me how that even makes sense, if it's even real. But, like, there's a period of games where they were like, I'm going to do all these cinematic platformers stuff. And, like, to me, those games have always been weird because there's, like, usually no dialogue. They were pushing tech like crazy. So yeah, I just want to see more of that. So I'm going to have to end up picking this up.
Yeah, it's neat that you say that too, because when you read the letters that he was trading back and forth with Broderbund about the death bounce, they basically tell him, we think that your programming is excellent and the way that everything moves is excellent, but it doesn't have enough interesting visuals. And it would be really great if you added some kind of backstory. So you see him sort of like trying to evolve the game to match what their expectations are. It's neat. It's definitely worth picking up if you have.
I assume he's a kid at that point too, right?
He was in college when he was trading letters back and forth with them. Yeah,
that period of like the Wild West where like people were programming games for old computers and stuff is just so out there to me because I didn't get to experience it. So, like, the fact that almost anyone could be a developer with just pure passion, and then, like, publishers would be like, yeah, sure, why don't we'll take it. Like,
yeah, he's basically just mailing floppy disks to Broderbund, like, hey, look at this game I made, you guys want to publish it? And they're like, yeah, it might be worth publishing if you change this, this, and this, and that sort of Wild West stuff just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, and it's very promising that if you look at the cover of it, it says Gold Series Part 1.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I hope that that's the case, and I hope that we continue to get more in this series because it's definitely cool.
Yep, they've got the template down. So
yeah, but yeah, that's it for me. I would love to. By the way, I would love to see. And I don't. Is Jim Crane still alive?
I don't know.
Because I would love to see one on his stuff done with like Pitfall and stuff like that. I think would be pretty cool. That's another game from that time period that.
You mean David Crane?
David Crane. What?
Jim Crane is the baseball guy.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, David Crane's still around. He's only he's 70.
Okay. I was going to say, that's the other part of this, is like, they really need to kind of do these things, because these guys are getting old, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he apparently, in 2021, he put out a game called Circus Convoy for the Atari 2600.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's been, Dave Crane's been, like, I know that he goes to, like, one of those, like, retro gaming conventions quite frequently. Because I've heard other podcasts talk about meeting him. Apparently he's a super friendly guy.
Cool. Well, then, yeah, maybe he'd be agreeable to doing one of these.
Oh my god, he was the programmer on Simpsons Bart versus the Space Mutants.
Oh god.
Yeah.
That explains so goddamn much about that game.
Yeah.
Specifically the first level, because a boy in his blob feels a lot like Bart versus the Space Mutants. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I both loved and hated A Boy in His Blob when I was a kid.
It's yeah.
That remake they did on the Wii was actually
the Wii.
really good.
Now it's on everything, yeah. I'd also love to see them talk to Howard Scott Warshaw about like his run at Atari, like just cover that as a set.
I'm pretty sure he's in the Atari one.
Well, I'm sure he is, but like, I mean, I don't think they had Raiders of the Lost Ark or E.T. on that collection.
No, they did not, because
I would love to see.
Yeah,
I would love to see them get those licenses because he was a thinker. Like,
dude, Raiders of the Lost Ark is fucked up. Like that game, like the fact that you got to plug in the second controller. Dude.
Like E.T., I'm pretty sure he's also the one that did Pac-Man, like, in a week or whatever, which is insane for that time. Like, he had a month, maybe, I think? It's insane. All of it's insane. Like, his whole career at Atari is just nuts, because he was such a good programmer, they'd just be like, hey, you have a month, do it. Here's E.T., here's some basic ideas. He wants to phone home. Figure it out. And it's just like, what?
Right. Yeah.
They mocked it in the show Code Monkeys, where the characters get the rights, and they just pay some kid to program it. It's Howard Scott Warshaw.
That show was great.
That show was fantastic.
You know, that's what the whole AVGN movie's about.
Yeah.
E.T.
Yeah, and then they did that Xbox had that documentary to like prove that they were buried in the desert. No, we had proof they buried it in the desert. There's a news article. It's been floating online for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they dug it up. So
cool, great. Here's all this garbage we buried for a reason. Like, It's like walking over and being like, "Hey, I dug up your grandma. Why?
Why not?
I didn't need
That's the
proof.
real question.
I didn't need proof that she was down there."
Right.
All right, I'll wrap this up with some quick indie hits. Daymare, 1994, Sandcastle.
It's a game.
It's a Daymare game.
I'm going to tell you right now, that game is literally, we got Resident Evil at home, and I don't hate it.
Nice.
I don't hate it.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of Resident Evil are we talking about? Like old school?
No, it's more modern. Like it's got the over-the-shoulder third-person camera.
What's the one he's thinking of? We had this talk when
Outbreak.
you brought it up.
You're thinking-
Outbreak.
Yeah, those like
Outbreak
50,000
is
of
the
those.
old one.
So there's two Daymares. There's the 1980 one and the 1994 one.
94 and 1988. Yeah.
Yeah. So 94 is you're a cop
1998. Sorry.
94 is you're a cop going to Area 51. So it's aliens.
Okay.
It's
Gotcha.
the first one's $5 on like Steam right now.
It's
That's
not,
Canadian money.
It's not terrible. I'm not gonna lie. It's not. They're all right Resident Evil clones. I was gonna try to play Gastro Force, which is a cool concept. Apparently, you're a dude trapped in an alien stomach, and you got to shoot yourself out. It's a boomer shooter, but it does not allow inversion, so I can't play it. So I didn't get to play that.
I've never even heard of this game.
I mean, there's so many games every week that.
No, but I mean, like, I usually try to stay up on the what's coming out that literally just has me shooting things.
It's from your favorite publisher.
Ratalaika. Yeah,
Yep.
I see that.
Yeah. Every week, man. Hexapoda is a cool vertical shooter that is like all black and white, except for the bullets. It's a bullet hell, and the bullets are like bright pink and blue, and you can pick up power-ups, and it's actually really, really fun. Like, I had a lot of fun playing that. Tenebris Pictura, I did not enjoy. It's like an isometric action-adventure game where you can leave your body to go over like this, like the fucking ooze from Ghostbusters 2. It's a weird...
Pepto-Bismol?
Yeah, exactly. It's big pink shit on the ground.
Okay, so Hexapoda, because if you search for that, you're gonna run into that is just like insects.
Yes, they're bugs.
So yeah, I was gonna say I really like that it's the developers using that as the style for all the enemies.
Yep, and you shoot away like this like branches as you're going through, so it's not just killing enemies. You also got to clear this like.
The developer apparently did another game called Overdriven Evolution, which is also a shooter, but it's a space one.
I probably have played that and don't remember it. That's just how these games go. Gourmet Warriors came out. I played a little bit of that. It's a good old beat 'em up. Cubite classics. Gotta love those. Kalinor is a side-scrolling action-adventure game. Very minimalistic pixels. It's not hateful, but the first boss wrecked me, so... And then The Bridge Curse Road to Salvation is one of those first-person I've got a cell phone horror games where you have to hide from everything. It's, I believe, a Chinese developer. Actually looks and runs really well, but it is just one of those. And then we all played Overwatch last night. Except Anthony, because his download took 6 hours.
Yeah, it ended around 12:30.
I'm not gonna lie, we had fun. We just played quick
we did.
play.
It was a good time.
Yeah, just played some quick play and had some fun. It was pretty
I'm
fun.
glad you can convince yourself of that.
Hey, there were 4 people in there, and all 4 of them had fun, so that's more than you.
I had fun. Not playing
Overwatch.
Not playing Overwatch.
Yeah, I know. I'm writing up my review for Taito. Taito Collection Volume 2. There's some weird fucking games in that collection, like Kiki Kai Kai and fucking Liquid Kids. Like, there's some weird shit in that collection. So,
I should mention that I did not play Overwatch.
I know you didn't. You uninstalled it.
Liquid Kids is the one where it's a platypus that throws water,
that throws
right?
the water balls. Yeah,
I actually like that game a lot.
That game is cool, but it's goofy as fuck.
Yeah, it reminds me of like a weird mix between Bubble Bobble, Rainbow Islands, and New Zealand Story.
It also has some great music too. I'm not gonna lie. Like, Taito games had some really catchy music. So yeah, I'm writing up my review for that. That should be up this week, hopefully. Now that, like, when the guy sent me the code, I was like, there is no way I'm reviewing this before September because I am in the midst of reviewing Starfield. So just so you are aware of that, I won't be talking about this game till September. He was like, that's fine.
Yeah, I get it. I
Yeah,
understand. You're fine.
exactly. Like I've got that. I've got Karateka that I'm reviewing. I've also got Bomb Rush and something else. And like I told all of those people, I was like, dude, I'm in the midst of doing Starfield. These gonna have to wait. Just saying. This week we've got, why is Crime Boss Rockay City? Is that the physical version finally coming out?
Oh, for
I'm guessing.
God's sake!
No, it's
Nah,
the. I think it's the updated. It's been
Updated.
updated too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's still
that's
getting
right.
updates.
Yeah.
But why would they put it as a new release? I
don't know, man. Maybe they're releasing, because has there been a physical release at all?
I don't.
It
No.
might finally be
so.
a finished game.
I'm not going to try it again. I don't care.
No, I'm not either. I'm good. Thank you. It's fine.
The Cuphead ripoff is out this week. Enchanted Portals.
Oh, I know someone's gonna either forget that they defended that online or love it and say, I don't know why people hate it, because it's a ripoff.
Escape from Terror City. And you were correct. It is the 6th for Starfield. That's out on Tuesday. Alchemy Garden. Autobahn Police Simulator 3 Off-Road. The Expanse, Episode 4. The Mini Pieces of Mr. Q.
What?
Yeah, Mr. Q.
Mr. Q. He said Q. Warstride Challenges, which I started playing last night. That's one of the other games I've got. I'll talk about that game next week. I've got words for that game. NBA 2K24 is out on Friday. Can you believe it?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're already
Crazy.
here. PlayStation 5, Monochrome Mobius, Rights and Wrongs Forgotten. House of the Dead Remake, Limited Edition. Get it? Limited. Baldur's Gate 3, Limpo, and Runner Heroes Enhanced Edition. PlayStation 4, Xbox One. How much longer do you think we're going to keep talking about these systems? Like, they have just as many releases. Actually, I think it's all the same releases. Yep. Like, almost every game except for... Is Baldur's Gate coming to PS4?
I
I
didn't
don't
think it was.
Oh, wait,
I didn't think it was either.
I clicked PlayStation 4 and it took me to 5. Sorry. That's weird. PlayStation 4, Chance of Sinar. Totally Accurate Battle Simulator finally coming to PlayStation.
My kid loves Totally Accurate Battle Simulator.
I think mine finally quit playing it. I think.
What even is it?
Dude, it's
It's,
wobble shit.
Yeah, but like you create an army and you match that army against another army, and it's I don't know, it's hard to describe.
You sort of set it up, and
you
you watch these two.
Now wait a minute.
Beings fight.
Hold on. Wasn't Totally Accurate Battle Simulator a Game Pass quest at one point?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
it
do
was
Game
on
Pass
Game
quests,
Pass.
so.
It was on Game Pass at one point.
Well, how does
I
Drew
played
not know what
like
it
early
is?
access.
Yeah, I knew where that was going.
Oh, wow.
I don't
Wow.
remember that one ever.
It was a while ago, because it was in early access, because I messed with it for like a minute, and I was like, yeah, no, this is
No, my son tried to
was
get...
like, everybody plays this, yeah.
Yeah, my son tried to get me to play it with him. I think I played like 3 matches. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is dumb.
Yep. Same. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Anonymous Code. I know, Anthony, you asked for that game. That's
Yes.
out on Friday, I believe. That's a Spike Chunsoft jam, right? Like Danganronpa or something?
Yep.
Okay.
I really like the art style of it.
Xbox One, mostly the same
Also,
stuff. Go ahead.
I'm just going to say this. Okay, so Anonymous Code, I'm at the Steam page, looking at screenshots, reminding myself why I was interested. Quickly remembered. Literally, their description is 3 words. Hack into God.
Okay. That reminds me
Wow,
of the
this is
end
really
of the...
Japanese.
That reminds me of the end of the Simpsons game on the 360 where the final boss was DDR against God. Remember that?
Yes, and right before that, you fight Matt Groening, and
Yes.
he summons Zoidberg and Bender
Yep. That game
by
is
drawing
so good.
them on a page. That game has one of my what's the Sims guy?
Will Wright?
Will Wright.
Will Wright shows up as himself in the video game level, and you meet all the pixelated versions of The Simpsons, and Marge just goes, "I'm Marge!"
Yeah, like that game needs to come back. Like, do you realize how many great Simpsons games there are that just like the Crazy Taxi one, obviously the Grand Theft Auto one.
Yep. What is it? The Crazy Taxi one is Road
Rage.
The
Hit
Grand
and
Theft
Run.
Auto one is Hit
Grand
and
Theft Auto
Run.
one.
Yep.
The Simpsons game was quite good.
I still have
yeah,
that. I
yeah.
play that on my 360
I have
every
all
now and
three
then.
of those. Those are all real fantastic.
You know
And
which
then
one doesn't
there's
need to
stuff
come
like-
back? Is skateboarding. That game was terrible.
I don't think I
You know what
played
needs
that.
to come back? Evolution skateboarding.
Yes, it does. Konami made a good skateboarding game. And also the Simpsons wrestling is terrible.
That game's terrible.
Don't bring that
I
game
don't think I
back.
played that either. Wow.
Really? You never played Simpsons
Yeah, let's
wrestling?
play that one.
Ryan-
It's terrible. Don't play it.
Was it
It's
PS2? When did it come out?
PS1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ryan.
Yeah, no.
It's on the hard drive, so go enjoy.
Oh no, I've played it. I have no desire. I played it back when it came out. I have no desire to play it again.
Xbox One Balloons TD6. I have no fucking clue what that even is.
Balloons. So Balloons was a game. I do not know how it plays, but their tower defense game TD is insane. Like I have watched a review on it that says like your CPU probably can't handle this game that looks like it was made on Flash Player.
So it's like Vampire Survivors, like late level.
Even crazier. Yeah,
Okay. And then Into the Sky. And
that I
now
have no idea.
it's time for everybody's favorite weekly game. What's the horny game on the Switch?
You said it was Into the Sky.
Into the Sky. Yes. That's a very generic name. I
Okay.
feel like could be like a
As
Yeah,
small
opposed
game.
to
there's-
Into This Guy, which is
Well,
the
there
one
was-
game on Switch this week.
Yeah, there was To the Sky, so I had to make sure. It is a first-person puzzle platformer. You will try to figure out the right way through each level. So it's basically you're trying to like make it through, and it's all jumping, but you don't know exactly if you're going to jump the right way or not. Some weird, surreal architecture. I might give it a shot.
Oh man, there is no guessing on some of these. All right, Bear and Breakfast.
That's I've seen that one. That's a bear that runs a bed and breakfast.
I mean that's pretty good. Kovacs Pitch, Rune Factory 3 Special.
hold on. What was that? Kovacs Pitch?
Kovacs, Kovox, Kovacs Pitch. Sounds like a baseball game, like a Japanese baseball game or something.
Yeah, it does. Oh,
He's
Lord.
Captain Googling over there.
I am. Wow, it is. Okay, all right. this game kind of looks awesome.
I love when he gets started. Here we go. Go ahead.
It is like a really well animated game that has like Persona style sort of like UI, and is you just rhythm timing hitting baseballs.
See? Baseball.
Oh, I like that.
So it is baseball. Okay.
Alright. True Virus. Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun, which that game is awesome. No Son of Mine, which is also a Foo Fighter song. That's
You
weird.
know, son of mine. Also a Phil Collins song.
Yeah.
And or Genesis. Might be Genesis.
Alchemy Garden. Color Sense Challenge. Colorful Boy. BOI. Boy.
I'm not looking that up.
How about this one? Hentai Project. You want to look that up?
Oh.
No, I'm pretty sure I know what's there.
I was going to say,
Everything you need is right there. Like,
Pipeline Puzzle could also be a horny game. Redeemer's Run, Shepherd's Crossing, Strike Force 3, The Dragoness, Command of the Flame, Crowd City, and
Why do I have a weird suspicion that is like a strategy game where you romance people?
I mean, that seems like a name that would fit a game of that type.
What is it called again?
The Dragoness, Command of the Flame. The Flame.
I'm looking it up.
Who makes this?
Oh
Published by
wow,
PQ.
not what I was expecting. What's HOMM?
Letters.
Nice.
Well, no, it's complete. It's clearly a reference to another video game.
I mean, this game
Heroes
kind
of
of
Might
looks.
and Magic.
Ah, there it is. Here, so the
Oh,
Dragon Nest
yeah.
mixes Heroes of Might and Magic like exploration, city building, and turn-based strategic combat with a roguelite twist.
Oh, fuck off! All right, we're done.
Yeah, no.
Crowd City and Crowd City Pirate Island DLC and Crowd City Zombie Apocalypse DLC. Eldorand. Terrence's big game Fae Farm is out this week.
Enough of the fucking
Oh,
farming
goodness,
games.
sweet.
Knights at the Gates of Hell.
That sounds hardcore.
Seduce Me, the complete story.
Oh, the complete story. Finally.
The complete story of...
You can look that one up, thanks.
Nah, I'm good.
I'm good too.
Sprout Valley.
Okay, so Night at the Gates of Hell. It is a horror game.
Oh.
Inspired by Lucio Fulci and Bruno Mattei. It is a first-person sort of PS1. Actually, it's probably more like N64 with the amount of smearing on these graphics. Like horror game, very odd.
All right, Troopers and Whitestone are the last two games.
Troopers? Just Troopers?
Just Troopers, not Super Troopers, just Troopers.
Just regular troopers.
Regular
VR
ass troopers.
Oh, we are VR, man. Oh,
Man, that's a deep cut right there.
Right? Man.
All right, so now it's time for the news. I like the news. Xbox has hired Minasato Kato as director for partnerships in Japan. She's responsible for leading partnerships worldwide for Japanese publishers at Xbox. Her last position was VP Mobile Business at Sony. So, I guess they're still trying to get some Japanese stuff going on over there, which is good.
Yeah.
If you didn't love Starfield already, you will love it now that the official song has been released by Imagine Dragons.
Good.
The who?
You don't know who Imagine Dragons are?
I know it's a band. I've never heard them. Like, I see their name and
You've
stuff.
probably
Trust me,
heard
you've
of
heard
it.
I
their
probably
songs.
have heard them. Yeah, I probably
Yeah.
have heard them. I just don't know. But yeah.
Basically,
Yeah, I
if you
know
go
it's a
to a
band.
theater...
Radioactive is probably their best song that's like super popular, and everything else just is like you'd hear it and go, "Oh, it's them." Yeah, I don't like them.
Believer is another big one.
Yeah. Is it one called
Yeah,
Thunder?
Believer.
Is it Thunder one too?
Yeah,
Thunder.
I think so. Yeah, I do not like
they
that.
did the song in Wreck-It Ralph too.
Yeah. If you heard one of those songs we just mentioned, you'd be like, "Oh, those guys." Okay.
So
Gotcha.
I saw a tweet one time saying that if five white guys walked up to me on the street and said, "Hey, we're Imagine Dragons," I would have nothing to do except believe you. Because I couldn't
believer?
tell you what they look like.
True story.
I could not tell you what they look like.
You know, the only reason that I
Hey,
know them is because I don't know if you ever saw this, but Dave Grohl did a documentary on Paramount Plus where he would like go talk to like different musicians and kind of get the story of their upbringing and how they got big. And the first episode was the guy from Imagine Dragons.
Was
Is
it
it
boring
good?
as all hell?
Yeah, I was just kind of like, okay. But he also
'Cause
did
they
Alice
seem like
Cooper.
a band that's
He also did Alice Cooper, and that one was really good.
like they seem like a band that just like was manufactured. Like,
Yeah.
it was born in a test tube.
All right, PlayStation news. This is where it's going to get saucy, y'all. PlayStation Portal Remote Player launches November 15th, so that thing will be out then.
Piece of shit.
We got
Sorry, I'm trying not to swear, but good lord, that is just a garbage dumpster fire.
our announcement of our essential games for September of 2023, but it came with a caveat. We'll get to that in a minute. But the games are Saints Row, which
the new one.
rip, fucking Volition
Yeah.
is dead.
Yep.
Bad timing on that, announcing that during the Starfield early access launch and right when they're putting a game on PlayStation Plus. Oof.
Mm-hmm.
Black Desert Traveler Edition and Generation Zero. So,
Was Generation Zero that robot game
Yes.
from
Yeah,
Avalanche?
that's the game you're thinking
Yes.
about.
Oh,
In the
I
80s,
had to review.
where
Didn't I
you're-
have to review? I think I had to review.
yeah,
that.
we played it. We played it together,
Oh,
I
it was
believe.
boring.
Yeah, they've updated it like to 60 frames per second and stuff like that. Because I
The
messed with
frames
it 'cause
per
I played
second
it.
was never the problem.
No,
No.
it wasn't. You're
Entertainment
absolutely
per
right.
second is the problem.
You're
What was that?
absolutely right.
What was
Yeah.
that Left 4 Dead clone that me and you played, Ken?
Back for Blood.
Back for Blood.
No.
No, it's a different
No.
one.
World
Was
War
it
Z.
Aliens? It was Aliens instead of...
I know which one you're talking about, and I, for the life of
Oh,
me,
Fire
can't...
Team Elite?
No,
No.
this was, I know what you're talking about, like,
Oh, God, what was it?
it was so generic.
No,
Yeah, it was.
Fuck.
it's not Strange Brigade. right?
Nope, this is like a first
That was-
person...
Oh, wait. Yeah, I bought this. It's like Earthfall or something like that. You talking about that one?
Yeah, something like that.
Earthfall.
I think that's what it's called. Because, yeah, it was
Something.
Aliens, but it was Left 4 Dead. And
It's
it was,
Earthfall.
Yeah, no.
It's Earthfall.
Okay.
It's Earthfall. Hold on. I can.
You got a screenshot?
Remember-
Is that what we're getting here?
I do.
Me,
Yeah.
me and you played that for like, I don't know, a couple days, and we were like, yeah, this
Yeah,
is not
like,
good.
that game...
This ain't it.
That game is not good. All right,
No,
so
it
at the
wasn't.
bottom, just so you know, the blog article was titled "Your Games for September," but at the bottom of the article was a little tidbit about how PlayStation Plus subscriptions are going up, up, up.
What?
So
What is it?
it's at least the minimum up is 33%. So PlayStation Plus Essential is going
Eat
to
my dick.
$80 a year for Essential. Extra is going to $135 a year, and Premium is going to $160 per year.
I'm so glad I dropped this service like 2-3 years ago.
One of the things nobody talks about, though, that sucks about this is that cloud saves are attached to PlayStation.
Yes.
Yep. I was just about to say that. Like, that sucks that is attached to that.
Oh, man. Now, I don't want people to think we're fanboys.
Just get a second job, guys. Come on.
Game Pass Ultimate is more than that per year. It is.
Yeah.
But you also get that on more than one console.
You do, and you also get
Sort of.
You get day one games like Starfield. You get a lot of third-party day one games, which has been huge this year.
Yeah.
Well, you can play Spider-Man. Oh no, that's been removed. You can play God of War. That's also
Nope,
been removed.
that's been removed. This sucks. Like, I canceled when I finally gave up on, because the fact that they bumped up Premium and their last drop was like some fucking PSP.
Siphon Filter is not a get.
No,
It's really not.
It's not. It wasn't a get on the PS1.
I don't.
Enough of Siphon Filter. I love that studio. I loved Days Gone. I mean, they do good work. They're not they're not bad games, but like they're not gets, guys. First of all, you own the license, and second, like they're just not even the best work from Sony first party.
The crazy thing about this is like the talk online was all 100% like, this is too much, I'm going to cancel. Like, even hardcore PlayStation people were saying that. But I saw two analysts who were talking about this, and if you read the blog, it's like, so we can continue to bring you bigger and better games. The analysts both said this is 100%. This service has stagnated in growth, and we need more revenue. That's 100% what this is.
Yep.
Okay. So I can... Of course it's stagnated. You split your user base.
Yes, when they
Yeah.
introduced the 3
So-
tiers, yep.
When you introduce the 3 tiers, you've absolutely fumbled it, because instead of having one tier that is like... So there shouldn't be the whatever. What is it? Ultimate? What's the highest one?
Premium is the big
Why am I
premium.
asking? Why am I asking? I don't care. The highest tier should not be there. It just shouldn't.
No.
It should only be 2. There should be a base level. Here's the basically what PlayStation Plus used to be, And then hey, if you also want like access to all the Yakuza games or whatever, because they've been really good at right, and the streaming stuff, that's what it should have been the other tier. Because that's what they used to do. They used to have PlayStation Plus, and then they had
PlayStation Now.
What was it? PlayStation Now. So that's what that should have stayed as. And you should have removed Now and basically made it easier to be subscribe to that and get your other things instead of having two payments, just have one at a better price. That's what should have happened. But at the same time, you're also not, like, I hate to say it still because I know I keep bringing it up, you're not selling consoles, guys. You're not selling consoles like you used to because they're too expensive. And I'm not saying they're not worth that money, but like things are going up. People are having problems buying fucking food, and you're like, please give me $500 or whatever it is in the States for a console that doesn't have any exclusives, really. Thanks. Like, it, of course, to me, it's just like, this is not a surprise. I'm not surprised at all this. You made it too confusing, and you made it too difficult to be a customer, and people just want to buy the things and go. That's how people want to do it. And when you're like, well, you have to go online, you have to buy the console from us, not that that's an issue as much anymore, but it still isn't like you walk into a GameStop and just they have a ton of consoles on hand. Like, you can't make these purchases just sort of all of a sudden. Like, people just can't do that. Like, when I worked retail, when the PlayStation 4 came out, the PlayStation 4 was, sure, it was expensive. It was like $400. But, like, at the time, everything else wasn't also just hiked up to extreme amounts. Like, gas is almost $2 a liter here in Canada. It's absurd. I'm not surprised. So being more greedy instead of trying to give a better service to make your money up through what they're doing is they're increasing the price because they don't have as many people involved. So they're just going to scam you out of more money rather than making a better deal and having more people join the ecosystem. I'm sorry, all this shit's just annoying to me because that's really what's keeping me from upgrading to new consoles. And, like, I just don't see the value in any of it.
Yeah.
Like, maybe Starfield.
Maybe, is, like,
I'm not, like, super excited. It's not my type of game, right? So it's just...
Microsoft announced that price increase at the right time with Starfield coming and Forza coming after that. Like, that was... We kind of expected that because we knew those games were coming, but Sony announcing this where they dropped Saints Row, Black Desert, and Generation Zero doesn't instill a lot of confidence.
And what do they have? Like, and they don't even do day one, but what do they have coming up?
They haven't announced. They've got Spider-Man 2, but after that, nobody knows.
Right. And, like, don't get me wrong, Spider-Man 2 will probably push a couple consoles, but it's also a sequel. Like, it has a number in the title, which makes it a little bit harder. It'll get all the people that have played Spider-Man 1, sure, but... Or most, like, all the people that are buying it are going to be people that are familiar with Spider-Man 1, but it's just...
Spider-Man 2 will sell a lot, for sure, especially since it's only on PS5. Yeah.
But it's just, like, I think at the same time, like, we are in the superhero fatigue moment, and that's going to be a harder sell as well.
And also,
not so much with video games, but...
I don't know, so this could be even worse for Sony. I don't know if this is in the news because I haven't got through it all yet, but I don't know if you saw, we all know that movies and TV shows are shut down right now, but they voted this weekend that video games are now included.
Yep.
Good.
So,
I saw that.
Like Insomniac's Wolverine game is probably going to be affected by this.
Yep. I'm not saying this to be malicious towards the game studios, but I'm glad that SAG-AFTRA and the Actors Guild are saying no to this stuff. I am totally supportive of... Because the thing is that everybody keeps looking at the major actors and saying, like, they're just being greedy. No, they're fighting for the people that are in the same union who do not make that type of money.
The people who've been living off residuals that aren't paying out.
Yeah, and, you know, this just goes more to like just corporate greed. Like it all of this has just been corporate greed. The console increased prices and all this stuff. It's like, I hate to tell you this, but like inflation is horseshit. Things don't just increase in price. Things increase in price because the people want to make more money. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's capitalism,
Like,
bro.
whoa, why? Capitalism can suck my dick from behind, to quote a smarter man than me. It really is just like why? So, sure, some things do increase in price because they become harder to get. We saw that during COVID. But, like, can you justify how consoles that are already made are increasing in price? No, they're just there. Why is a service that is digital, like, let's be clear here, digital, like, there's software work that goes into it, and I know that they have to license games from studios, but, like, outside of that, like, why is the price increasing? Those people have already set the price for their games, and they've probably put it on discount before it reaches PlayStation Plus. There's zero reason why your service is increasing in price, other than we just really want more money. So our billionaire executives can go and sit on their yacht as the world is on fire. Sorry, I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but it's all the same crap. It's all, capitalism is a piece of shit. Like, if artists could just make money off of their living, like, that, you'd have a better planet. But you can't have that because a suit somewhere that does nothing other than make shitty decisions wants to make a little bit more money, even though he's hoarding wealth like a dragon.
They're all smog.
Not wrong. Right.
No, smog is cool. That's the difference. They all think they're cool. They're assholes. And then they buy Twitter.
They're definitely all assholes. All right, let's move on to.
Sounds like you need to move to space.
Yeah.
No, they're trying to take that from us too. God damn it! They're trying to take that from us too. As they set the world on fire, they're like, "I'm going to go to Mars." Like, one, you're only going to get to Mars and then die on Mars. Fix the planet, you fucked up. Thanks.
All right. How about some Nintendo news? TPC has announced a Pokemon Cross Hatsune Miku collaboration. There will be 18 songs, with the first one dropping September 29th.
Speaking of Nintendo, just because I went off on capitalism there, they have one of the highest employee retainment in Japan because they treat their employees well.
Well,
just saying, maybe that's a good idea.
But Nintendo's also out for your money because they're releasing a Nintendo Switch OLED Mario Red edition on October 6th.
Everybody's out for your money, but it
looks pretty good too.
I mean, it's just fucking red with a little Mario logo on it.
I could not care less. Yeah, I think those are all dumb, but whatever. Like, I have a Animal Crossing Switch, so what can I say?
I was gonna say you probably got one. You said, like, I bought an OLED, so I can't say.
But
anything.
generally, I don't. I think the last time I upgraded to a minor convenience was my 3DS XL. I mean, it was a new 3DS XL, so like it did have a little bit more horsepower. But generally, I bought it because I wanted just to have a bigger screen and better 3D.
Most people on this show live in glass houses. We buy too much. I mean, I just fucking went out and bought a new Xbox because mine broke. So.
Yeah, yours broke randomly and definitely isn't a potential concern with Starfield. It's only 2 cases so far.
Talked about that. I was about to say, because I saw some, but you posted that person.
Yeah, somebody else ran into that problem too, and I'm like,
I think you should explain that, Ken, because
when I
think you could talk about it.
I couldn't talk about it before, but when I was reviewing Starfield, when I first started playing it, it kept telling me that I needed a controller. Like, it kept desyncing my controller, and I was like, "What is it? Just this game?" And for a while, it was. And then all of a sudden it started happening in other games. So like Madden would do it, and then I was also doing Immortals of Avium, and it would do it. And it was just 100% random. And eventually I got to the point where every game was doing it, and
was it just the games, or would the dashboard still work?
The dashboard seemed to work fine for a while, but then it started to do it as well.
Okay.
So, like, I did all the stuff they tell you to do, like resync your controllers, reboot. I even formatted my Xbox. there's apparently like a receiver inside the system that transmits to the controller because it's proprietary. And they say that in rare cases that can actually die. So I'm assuming that died, because when I bought the new system, I've synced 5 controllers to it and had 0 issues.
Find it funny that you had that happen during Starfield, and then another person playing Starfield had that happen.
Yeah, like when I saw him tweet that, I was like, oh god, please don't let it break your Xbox. Like, that's just the worst.
Yep.
Now, I'd just like to note that we're increasing the price of Xboxes.
Oh god. I already bought it, so we're good. They can increase it now. I'm good. So Eurogamer asked Takashi Tezuka, a veteran of Pikmin series, if we have to wait another 10 years for Pikmin 5. And he said, I think that would be best as well. Smiled, we'll try not to let everyone wait. So, I don't know what that means.
What do you mean Pikmin? Oh, Pikmin 5, sorry. I don't know why my brain went to Patapon. My god. Okay, yeah, I hope not. That Pikmin 4 is a masterpiece, in my opinion.
Releases, Wolong Fallen Dynasty 2nd DLC launches September 27th. Arco coming to PC in 2024. Nower Play With Your Food launches September 12th.
I don't know that I want to know what that is.
That's...
Right.
Don't worry, I'm gonna look it up and I'll keep my mouth quiet if it's weird.
Time Flies coming to PS5, Switch, and PC in 2024. Front Mission 2 Remake launching October 5th on Switch. New Arc Line coming to Xbox, PlayStation 5, and PC in 2024. Rise of Kong has a release date now, October 17th.
Oh, that game looks bad.
Oh, that's the game mill game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a Game Mill game.
Persona spinoff Megami Ubenroku Persona Iku no Tuhin is coming to Switch and PC in Japan.
Said like a fluent Japanese speaker.
Dude, I have no
Right.
there's a lot of letters in there and I can't read that. Jagged Alliance 3 coming soon to Xbox, PlayStation, and it's already out on PC. Custom Mecha Wars coming this winter to PS5 and PC. Grapple Dogs, Cosmic Canines coming to PC in 2024. Ebenezer and the Invisible World coming November 3rd to everything. This Bed We Made, October 4th on PC. Wizard with a Gun coming to everything October 17th.
That's a great title.
Golden Idol Mysteries, the Lemurian Vampire DLC is
Yeah,
out
it's
now.
out. Yeah, so I last weekend said I finished the DLC and I was done with that game.
Now you
I
got
felt
more
a
DC.
little bit of death. I felt a little bit of death like take over me when I saw that my achievements were like, you're 3 short, and I'm like, I wasn't 3 short. And it's like, new DLC. I was like, great.
Moonstone
I
Island.
was done with this game.
Coming to PC and Switch on September 20th. Oh, sorry, PC on September 20th, Switch at a later date. Borderlands Collection Pandora's Box. Basically includes everything. Coming September 1st.
But Tiny Tina's.
Yes, not the new...
Wonderlands.
It's Borderlands, not Tiny Tina's.
Yeah, I know, but I'm making sure people know that.
And Borderlands
Just in case.
3 is coming to Switch, which is crazy.
I'm not surprised. I mean...
Does that game still crash on Xbox?
Did it crash on
think
Xbox?
so.
Oh,
It
dude,
did.
it was broken.
It was
on
broke.
Oh,
Xbox.
right. You know what? I vaguely remember. Here's my playthrough. I was excited for Borderlands 3. I was like, oh man, Borderlands 3. I pre-ordered like the most expensive version without the feelies, and then I played that game for maybe 2 hours and was like, I'll come back to this maybe. I'm not really feeling it right now, and then I just never went back to it.
Maybe.
I was like, I'm done with this. I'm done with this series.
What
Also,
else?
newer, whatever. Play with your food is so weird looking. Like somebody stacked up a bunch of burgers on top of each other. Looks like a physics. It looks like a physics game with food.
Okay.
Instead of like playing as bread, though, like you can drop toast or drop bread into a toaster and then set it on fire. I saw there was in the video for it, somebody was clearly microwaving a fork or something.
Oh man,
So
video
you can-
games.
You could microwave a fork and see exactly what happens when you microwave a fork.
Street Fighter 6 new character Aki launches September 27th. Anybody still playing that?
Nope.
I
Wow.
mean,
That game
don't
fell
like
off
Street
the
Fighter.
Grand fucking Canyon.
Yeah.
it
Call of
Do
the
you think, as people, because I've never been a Street Fighter fan, as people that are Street Fighter fans, would you say that was because of 5? Like, did 5 ruin any joy you got out of Street Fighter, or is it just this game? Like, what
I don't
happened?
play
I don't
multiplayer.
think there's
and
anything wrong with the game. It's just, I don't play. I'm sure it's got a thriving multiplayer community still. I just don't play multiplayer fighting games anymore. So for me, it was
And the single player is just so fucking like I don't like that
lame.
that mode, and then like everything else is
Yeah.
just kind of blah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm a huge Street Fighter fan. I have not purchased it. Street Fighter 5 left a bad taste in my mouth, and I also don't have the time to put into a online game where you have to be good.
yeah, that's really the only reason to play Street Fighter 6. So all the single player people are like, well, fuck it, I'll play Tekken and Mortal Kombat. So
Yep, pretty much.
Call of the Wild: The Angler is out now for Game Pass. Paper Beast Enhanced Edition coming to PSVR and PS5 on September 27th.
Speaking of, oh my god, one of the guys we were talking about earlier. God damn it.
I don't know what we're talking about.
The creator, or the director.
David Crane.
Nope.
George
Will Wright.
Broussard.
Eric Chahi.
Will
Eric
Wright?
Chahi. Eric Chahi did design Paper Beasts.
Okay. Pioneers of Pagonia. A new game from the Settlers creator. Launches December 13th.
I wanted Pioneers of Peggle. Give me a new Peggle game.
Peggle 2.
Peggle was good. Yeah.
I love Peggle.
Peggle's great.
Loglart Grimoire. Coming to
Sure.
Early access.
Yep. Oh, okay then.
Godzilla Voxel Wars. Coming to Steam in November. Alien Hominid HD. There's a name I ain't heard in a while. Coming soon to Xbox, Switch, and PC.
What was that Godzilla game?
Godzilla Voxel Wars.
Mm.
Power Wash Simulator's getting another crossover, this time with Back to the Future, so you can wash the DeLorean. Gunbrella launches September 13th. And boy, you think I butchered that name earlier. Wait for this one. Atogi Katsugeki Mameda no Bakeru Oracle Saitoro no Sainain. Coming to
Bro.
Switch
Did
on.
you just have a stroke?
Right. What the heck?
That's
Jesus.
that's the name.
You sounded like oh my god, it's not gonna work. Never mind.
Hold on,
Joke sucks. I couldn't remember his name.
I'm gonna put the name in chat, and you could tell me if you could say that. So,
Great. This picture. Hold on. Let me squint at this tiny little picture.
hey, that's what I'm reading
Good
from.
Lord.
I can't help it. I read that at that size.
Otogi Katsugeki Mameda no Bakiru Oracle Saitoru no Seinen. I think I sounded a little bit better.
Exclamation point.
Yeah. Hold
That's
on.
exclamation
Again. There. I yelled it.
Delays. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remaster has been delayed. There's no new
Forgot that was
date.
coming.
Nine Souls got delayed to Q1 2024. RoboCop Rogue City was delayed to November 2nd.
Let it cook.
Born
Yes, I
of
wanna-
Bread delayed to fall 2023.
Also, this Godzilla game that I just found out existed looks great.
Sea of
It is a puzzle game.
Stars has
A
sold
Godzilla
100,000.
puzzle game?
Correct.
I mean,
It is a puzzle game where you move across a little tiled board and you have to destroy the buildings and
the
stuff.
history of Godzilla games is kind of bad.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a puzzle game. It's a strategy game. It's a turn-based strategy game.
So like
Still
Godzilla 2
down.
on the NES.
That makes more
I'll
sense. to
take
me.
it. I'll take it. Well, sorry, with the graphics, because it looks like it reminded me a bit of that Friday the 13th puzzle game.
Oh, the push game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they had another game, Camp Slayaway. That one.
Yeah, I played that.
That's what it looked like quickly, but no, it's a turn-based strategy, which even has me more interested.
Sea of Stars sold 100,000 in its first day after launch, which is really good considering it was on 2 streaming service or like plus services things.
Good for them too, because that game is great.
13 Sentinels Aegis Rim have surpassed 1 million units of uncomfortable child things. Like that game is fucked up. Like
that's oh my god, Odin Sphere people, right?
Maybe Vanillaware. That's Vanillaware.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a second. I'm clicking it. Pause before you start talking about a thing. Yeah, 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim is them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Starfield surpassed 234,000 players in the first few hours on Steam. Now, this is relevant because it's not free there, and it's only the $100 version.
It was gonna make money. I mean, we said that earlier.
That's a lot of money.
It's not gonna be Game of the Year, but yeah, people were gonna come play it. Like, yeah.
That thing's going. Goddamn, 234,000 people paid $100. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What else we got on here? All right, so Anthony mentioned earlier, and I was hoping this was in here about PlayStation sales. So I've got like this little thing here. So PlayStation 5 is currently 5% above where PS4 was at this time, and 87% ahead of where PS3 was.
I don't believe that. I'm sorry.
Here we got more.
Don't know enough people that have it. Like,
I mean, the numbers are out there. It's at like 30.
I suppose I'm wrong.
Million?
I'm sorry. Like, I don't like. I know a bunch of people that play video games that are playing on old consoles still.
Xbox, on the other hand, is 10% behind Xbox One, but 6% ahead of Xbox 360.
See, that's
how you make.
That is.
How is that?
So,
what?
I know y'all don't remember it, but when Xbox One launched, it still did really well. It just fell off over time.
Yeah, I mean, I worked both launches, and yeah, we didn't have Xboxes on the shelf. The thing was, though, at some point, because Xbox was supplying us consistently, so we were selling them consistently. But then we did hit a point where they just sat on the shelf.
Sure, and that's kind of
we
where
didn't have that issue with
Yeah.
PlayStation, where we would get them in and they'd sell, and then it'd be a while before we got them back in, and then we'd sell them again. So like we were never keeping them on the shelves. I'm sorry, the numbers all seem a little weird because like the 360 I remember early on within its first year, like maybe
You couldn't find them.
yeah, but I also remember I couldn't really find them until they released the arcade unit.
And this could all be like availability, because Xbox Series availability sucks. Xbox One availability was very good. Like you could just walk in and buy one of those things.
I just the Sony one.
I believe the Sony one because the PlayStation 5 is way ahead of where PS4 was right now. Like 35 or 40 million, I think is where they're at. Which is bananas.
How many of those? I guess the question I would have is how many of those are actually in the hands of players?
Well, they are now because the scalpers you don't.
I'm not talking about the scalpers. I'm just talking about like, is this units shipped?
No, it's sold.
Sold? Okay.
Yeah. Switch
Maybe
lifetime.
I'm wrong. I just feel it just I don't recall like within the people I talk to, no one's been running out to get a new console.
Switch lifetime sales have surpassed the Wii in the U.S. market. And then this last line is really weird because, do people just ignore Nintendo? It says PS5 is expected to remain the market leader until 2025.
Yeah, people do.
Like, Switch is outselling everything. Like, Nintendo's the market leader. How? What? Anyway. River City Girls 2 gets a free update for 4-player online co-op. Panic will publish House, Goose Game, And Okamotive, Far Loan Sales, Far Changing Tides, next game. Michael Unsworth has left Rockstar Games after 16 years.
I don't know who that is.
So according to this, he was part of the writing team for Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2, GTA 4 and 5, and Max Payne 3.
Wow. Do they have anybody left at Rockstar?
Not really.
Because both the brothers are gone, I believe, right?
Yes.
Benzies is gone. Laszlo is gone. And he did all the writing for the radio. Or was like the head of that department. I just don't know what to expect from a new Grand Theft Auto at this point.
Embracer, as we mentioned earlier, shut down Volition. They also laid off multiple Gearbox publishing employees throughout the summer.
When they just stuck to reissuing classic games and then funding sort of the successes from there, I liked them as a publisher. And then I don't know what happened over the last couple of years, but like I still had faith in them, and I was wrong. Which means I was wrong twice on this podcast, minimum.
Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition was rated by the ESRB for Air Thing. It's funny. You know it's funny.
I just hate Ubisoft at this point.
The Chinese Room is now working on Vampire
God.
Bloodlines 2 with a release date of fall 2024.
Oh! No! They
Saw
can't
that
keep getting away
video.
with it!
They were making that, like, do we hate them? I didn't play,
They're
everybody.
just not that type of
Rapture.
developer.
Oh, okay.
They're
okay.
walking sims.
Yeah, I knew that.
Like,
but,
everybody
like,
that's going to the Rapture, and Dear Esther are fine for what they are. They're properties that they created. And, I mean, Dear Esther, I'm going to be honest with you, was neat when it was a mod, but as a full game, I could not care less. It was interesting because they took Half-Life 2's the source engine and like Half-Life 2 models and managed to make a interactive fiction that had no combat in it. And it was fascinating, but I mean, Stanley Parable did something very similar and was more entertaining, like as a game too. And then they did Machine for Pigs, Amnesia Machine for Pigs, and it wasn't like the first Amnesia game. A lot of people don't like it. And it's like it's kind of like Bloober Team doing Silent Hill. This is not the property this company should be working on. Now,
Gotcha.
maybe that studio's entirely changed. Like I do not know where that team has like I do not know who's left and who's stayed and all that stuff. But it's just one of those like this game's already in development hell, and then you give it to a team that is not known for doing RPGs at all. In fact, games kind of don't live in their wheelhouse. So, like, it's just weird to be like, here's a game. Make an actual RPG game based off of a rule set for a tabletop game.
Alright, last two news stories I got. Yoshi P confirmed this weekend that there's a free update coming to Final Fantasy 16. There will be 2 paid DLCs, and they announced the PC version is currently in development. More info later this year. And the last news story that I have is just for Anthony, because I know he loves this. So I read a new rumor this weekend coming from I'm using my fingers.
No, it's
I'm
a
using
new
my
Switch.
fingers.
No!
A reputable source that the Switch 2 hardware is in hands of developers. And hold on, it has a new cartridge format. It has a camera built in. It's the equivalent power-wise of the PS4. And can you guess what one of the launch titles will be?
A 3D Mario.
Breath of the Wild.
Suicide.
So just think, this is
Metroid Prime remake.
This
Not
is
Breath of the
the
Wild.
ultimate, like,
Metroid Prime.
everything you could possibly want from a Nintendo launch.
Odyssey 2.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
It is not happening. Get out of here.
Wow, that would be wild.
Also,
I can see
it's-
but that would be wild.
It's 100% backwards compatible as well.
Okay, so a game
It pretty much has to be like
a game that they say can't run on the PS4 with the intergrade expansion is going to go onto the PS4 equivalent Switch 2.
Yep.
My dad works at Nintendo. Get the fuck out.
I literally just read that for you. So
I know you did, and it's like, you remember, like this. Literally, these conversations started when the Switch was launched.
Yep, and here we are. What is it? All going on 7 years?
Hey, I'm still waiting for that Metroid Prime trilogy. Remember that? The whole trilogy, guys.
All right.
No. Oh, okay. Well, we're just gonna move the goalpost. The first game.
Emails. One comes from Gamer Chat Radio. I think we're starting to see a theme with some of our emails coming in. He says, "Quick question. Y'all know if it's possible to rip physical game discs to ROMs, specifically Xbox and PlayStation generations, like a generic .iso, and worry about the emulator or modded console later? I'm thinking of selling a lot of my systems, but would like to rip them as ROMs first. Any insight? Thanks."
Now I can't. So I'll say this: you can't do that for Nintendo stuff because Nintendo is really weird and like technically everything's their own format, even though they use base standards. So if I'm correct, I believe the GameCube discs are a DVD format, but like heavily coded to the point where like you need to have specific hardware, I believe, to rip it. So what ends up happening generally is that, like, say with like a DS cartridge, because that's kind of what I've been fooling around with, is that like you use the actual hardware to rip the file, which requires a lot of work on the back end of that console. Now, nowadays, most of them are like, you go to a website and you hit a thing and whoop-de-doo, your console's hacked. But like with older stuff, it was generally hardware. And then you would have to have, like with a PlayStation 2, for example, you'd have to have a hard drive. And you'd have to have specific software to rip the ISO. That being said, some consoles did only use a standard DVD format, so you can generally take that and rip it using like image burn. Whether or not it works, however, is a totally different scenario, because an image burn will make an ISO off of any disk, but like you need to have something that can read it properly. Sometimes there's some other software you have to do to get ISOs to run properly. So it's kind of up in the air, and it's a console by console basis. That being said, old cartridges, you can usually just buy an adapter that hooks up through USB, and then it's just a little bit of software that rips it. It's not something that I've looked heavily into, but like that's generally how it's done, especially on like newer cartridge-based formats. Like no one can plug a Switch cartridge into their computer, so you have to figure out that somebody has, I don't know how it's done on Switch because I have no interest in looking it up, but someone has modded their Switch in order to basically rip all the data off of the cartridge into a file that they can send to somebody else online. That's generally how it works. That being said, I'm not going to run you through it, but that's kind of the lowdown of how it works, and I'm sure there's guides online.
Oh yeah, because I know with Xbox you have to FTP the files from the disc.
Yep.
PlayStation 2, like you said, it's just dependent upon whether or not it'll work. That's always going to be the question.
And things with, so in the PS2, I think the biggest issue you'll have, and this is just coming from like personal experience with actual like legitimate games, people don't remember early PS2 games were on CDs still.
Some of them were.
Yeah, if it's got a blue back, it's a CD. And so getting those to work is also kind of a nightmare because they have to be handled differently too.
Hey, guess what? I hate to tell you that getting them to work on an actual PlayStation 2 was also not always.
That's
easy.
what I mean. So like they're kind of a mess. And then you get into like some of the European games were printed on like cheap discs, so that becomes a problem too because like they just are prone to errors. Like if you go through I'm saying this is just a generic statement. If you go through, say, like the NES ROM dump somewhere online, you'll sometimes see like a square brackets with a B inside. That's saying that it's a bad rip, like is a bad copy, and sometimes that's all that anybody has. Note that when you do it yourself, you could have that issue happen too, and that disc, like that image, that ROM won't play as well. It kind of sucks, and it's kind of just like a luck of the draw, and how well you kept your discs, and how good the actual disc burner is good at like reading it, and all that stuff. It's a hobby. If you want to tinker with stuff, you want to fiddle.
I was waiting on the fiddler.
That being said, I will say this, because like there is a legitimate reason to do this type of stuff too. If you're like me and you like some series that didn't have all the games come over, but you have those games legitimately, some like being able to rip it and then burn a copy of it is legal in Canada, at least, because it's data backup. But you can sometimes find like patches and install them into the ISO, so that burnt new copy that you have also is now in English, which is nice. Some of the like the Retron, I think the Retron can actually like rip your cartridges, but still needs it to verify that you actually have them. But it'll rip your cartridges to the data inside, and it will allow you to apply patches directly to that ROM image. So there's some neat stuff out there that way, that actually is within like full legal rights, essentially, because you're not selling, trading, or anything like that. You have the disc. It's just you can't read it.
Yeah, Polymega rips the discs to the hard drive as well.
Yeah, okay. I think the Polymega, though, you don't need the disc to verify. So,
no,
right?
You rip it and you can just play it because it's technically your
That's
disc.
nicer than the like the cartridge based Retron 5 that I know you could put the cartridge in and it would rip the data to the hard drive,
well,
or whatever,
dump
the very
it.
small, or the flash memory.
Yeah, it'll
and
dump
then
it.
You'd still need a cartridge in the slot.
Yeah, it's because it uses emulation, and it's not ideal. It's not actually playing off the cartridge. Retron had a lot of problems.
They seem to have fixed a lot of it, because I know that they had an Atari one out not too long ago that was like really well received. Obviously, it shouldn't be too hard to do a software emulation of Atari stuff, but I think they had a Nintendo one too that were all like HDMI based.
All right. Next email comes from Eeyore Kara. He says, "Hey,
Hold
yo."
on, I have to buckle in.
Hey, yo, it's Eeyore Kara. I tweeted at Ryan, or wait, I X'd, or whatever it is. Anyhow, I'm so over CM Punk. I'm sick of hearing his name. I'm sick of hearing all the incidences. It's time that AEW just let the guy go. Oh, this was obviously...
I have good news for you.
Guess what? I got great news for you.
He says AEW just had the biggest event. No one's talking about it because Punk overshadowed with his bullshit. Anyway, I love MJF.
Agreed.
Me too.
Agreed on all counts.
Yeah.
Ken, bro, I love you, but man, you gotta stop giving attention to all the hate on Twitter. Start posting more positive stuff, bro. Games are fun. Put more into it. I'm playing the games.
He hasn't been able to talk about the games he's playing.
Yeah, I have to like
that's
this.
True.
Anyhow, guys, I really need your help. God damn it. I'm serious.
One of these.
No funny business here. I know I say a lot of stupid shit, but if it's okay, can we just talk about my next question in seriousness? I've watched all the porn, I think. So I was thinking, whoever's on the show, give me one keyword. Round table, taking turns, one keyword. So if there's 5 people, there should be 5 keywords.
No.
I will put these keywords into a search bar on, one of those sites. I will watch any video on page 1 to help me with my problem. I hope with your help,
I'm not contributing to that.
I'm not.
I will write back and let you know how it goes.
Best of luck to you. I'm not contributing to that.
Just put in badger.
Wow.
Yeah, do that.
I bet you $10 something will come up.
Oh, something absolutely will come up.
Yeah, something will come up.
Oh, actually, I have another question. When you guys get a code, review the game, give it a really shitty review score, does the developer ever reach out to you guys and say, "What the fuck? How do you guys handle these situations?"
I don't recall that ever happening. Not
Nope.
to me, at least.
No, I've had like PR reach out to me and be like, "This is incorrect." Like if I say something in a review and it's not factual, but I've never had somebody reach out and be like, "Hey, that's wrong."
I have.
Is this Jackie?
Really?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was just saying stuff on Twitter, and he apparently looked for it. No, I can't remember the name of the game. It was a spoof of Dungeons and Dragons. Oh man, what was it
Archdale?
called? No, it was like Dungeons and Donuts or something like that. I can't remember.
Oh, is that Dungeons of Nibble Clerk or whatever?
No,
That game? Oh, it's not that one. Okay.
It's sad that there are so many of these that we're coming up with.
Right.
Grotesque Tactics 2 Dungeons and Donuts.
that's it.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that.
Let me just read some lines. Unfunny game is unfunny. That was clearly the tagline. There are some games out there that are funny. Then there are games that just try to be funny. Then there's Grotesque Tactics 2 Dungeons and Donuts, a game that tries to be funny and fails big time.
Is this my review that you're reading?
Yes, it is.
Okay, there you go.
From 2012. January 17th, 2012.
I don't know if it still exists, but if you scroll all the way down, I believe the developer actually commented on my review.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay, hold on.
That's great.
Okay, so is
Right?
was it Alice or Joel?
It must be Joel. I'm not sure.
Okay, no, Joel's making fun. Alice said, "Sick and tired of those crappy reviews for such a good game. You don't like the humor, I get it, but what is with people who love the humor? You can't be so intelligent to think about it, right? By the way, there was one no translation missing in the whole game." And then Joel joked, "Sick and tired of people having opinions. You don't like making up your own mind, I get it. What is with people who can't take a review with a grain of salt and try the game out on your own? You can't be so intelligent to think about it." Right? Okay, I love Joel. Joel's great.
I think Joel is actually my friend in real life.
Okay, well, that would explain it, because he comes in with, because he when you responded, and he just wrote, "Bad Drew, you know you're not supposed to have opinions, not ever."
Yeah, that's him. No,
okay,
it was on there.
Alice said to Joel, "English is not my native language, but thanks for the advice." And then Alice responded, "Sorry, my fault. I thought a journalist has to create a more objective review. First of all, we are not journalists in the slightest. We are dickheads with opinions. Second, that is not a review. Reviews are not objective. That is not how this works. Not only write his opinion. That is what a review is."
Exactly what a review is.
For example,
Right.
to think about it, which people like humor, which not, and which humor is similar. Maybe Deathspank Baconing or something else. I mean, this game is a second part of a series. It's not because there are only some people who like it, or quests are boring. Why are they boring? Are they boring in the style of Torchlight because every time you have to find an item or kill something? Oh my god.
I don't think that's the reviewer though. The other guy wasn't like jabbing me. I think he
was
even
this
said,
Oscar the Minion Hildebrandt?
I don't know, dude. I don't
the-
remember these people's names.
I think we give more time to this
Okay,
game
hold on.
than we
Hold on, now I
give
have to get... Now, Drew opened up a can of worms on the air, and I need to find out. God damn it. Yeah,
How many comments are on this review?
Dude, too many.
Where are the comments at? I don't understand what's even happening.
They're at the bottom of our website.
I think
I
any
thought
statement
I
of
got rid
opinion
of
is
all
fair
those.
as such, and then the last person to demand someone edit their opinion simply because they didn't enjoy my work. I do think humor is extremely subjective, and with satire games, it will always be a hit and miss reception. That is why I appreciate the clarification that you personally did not enjoy the game while leaving open that others may still. You seemed fairly reasonable about it.
Actually, yeah.
And then he goes into detail kind of about, like, you know,
why you're an
how
idiot.
he's
No, I'm just
no, not surprisingly
kidding. I know, I'm
not.
just kidding.
I had one that I ended up not reviewing because I said to Ken I don't want to review this game after seeing how he I will say what game it is now because I don't care. It was Darkwood. Darkwood's an interesting game, but it's clearly built for PC. And I was having issues, like I did not like the controls on Xbox, and I got stuck on the environment and died. And I was like, okay, this game's difficult, and that's fine, but now I'm getting stuck on the environment, and I just died because I couldn't get away from a monster. Because literally the game just decided I wasn't allowed to move anywhere from that point. And I'm like, that's kind of sucks. And somebody kind of also gave the Xbox version, which is the version I had for review, a mediocre score. And the dev decided to pick a fight with that person. A dev or a publisher or somebody decided to pick a fight with that person and called them like a bad writer and an idiot. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing this.
Oh my
so
god.
Close, but not. It didn't happen to me, thank God.
Jesus Christ. Alright, I'm moving on. Oh, can everyone text Killer Wolverine and see if he texts back?
Yeah.
I mean, we have.
He makes rare appearances. We were talking about that the other day. Like, you just need to check in once a month. Be like, all right, man, just check in, just making sure you're good.
Are you breathing? We good? Okay.
You say K, like, all right, we good. I'll holler at you next month.
Yeah. Check on him. I don't know. He's kind of gone dark.
What most people
Yeah.
wish I would do.
Oh, the Pokemon Go Festival was on recently. It's the best fun I've had in a long time. A mate and I stayed in the city for the weekend, walked over 40 kilometers collecting Pokemon, doing raids, and meeting so many people. Just so much fun. We had a few drinks too. We don't get any free nights on our own, so we made the most of it at night. We watched some old school ECW, drinking too much and eating kebabs. Anyway, just remember life's too short. Don't be serious. Put your phone down. Enjoy your company. Enjoy life. Take care.
Nice.
All right. A couple tweets and we can get out of here. Shogun talking about Starfield. This is why I never like scores, but the nature of the beast requires them. I loved Gotham Knights. I think it was better than the last Batman game, but the review scores hated it. Empty World don't sound bad when it's a space game. Also, I haven't played it. But the gaming community is at a critical toxicity with this game. A 7 seems low compared to the other games reviewed, but it sounds like the Mass Effect game I want. Also, I loved Andromeda. Let's just play the game that interests you regardless of reviews. Also, I have played it. But the gaming community is at... Oh, that's the same message. I wonder why it's posted twice. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. This whole... I mean, Fanboy Wars are at, like, the worst I've ever seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game that unless it came out and everybody gave it a 10, it was going to gender this kind of reaction, because...
Oh, yeah. It's got too much behind it.
People had already decided that it was the saving grace of Xbox, right?
Yeah,
so
that's the thing. Is like
as soon as it wasn't, it's.
But
as
it's
soon
fine.
as reviews came out that indicated it wasn't, that was the end of that. It was the end of any civil conversation around the game.
I genuinely think it doesn't matter because regardless of what the scores are, this game is going to fucking sell gangbusters.
Shit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it is, in turn, going to save. I don't think it was ever supposed to save Xbox. That was just a narrative of stupidity.
Agreed.
But I think it's going to make them a whole lot of fucking money.
Agreed.
So.
But it can make a lot more money if they had it on PlayStation.
Oh, sure. But, you know.
True.
And that's why they're mad.
I mean... The same could be said for everything. Imagine if Spider-Man launched day and date on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. It would make more money.
Tons.
It would.
That's not a controversial statement. It's fact. And people are like, no, that's not the way this works. Like PlayStation guys are like, no, it doesn't come to PC until 2 years later because that's why we get their exclusive. That's why you buy a PlayStation. I'm like, no, you buy whatever the fuck you want and play what you want. I don't care.
Exactly.
Like, why do you care? Why do you care? That's the thing I'll never understand.
That's the biggest thing. I mean, I know we give like the end of the show is always us ranting about this. But to be honest with you, I mean, why does it matter if PlayStation is winning? Why does it matter if Xbox is losing? Like it just
it's all capitalism and it's terrible.
You're simping for $1 billion company,
and the companies want you to do that.
Of course they do.
That's the problem. These companies are not on your side, guys.
They're on your wallet side.
Yeah,
true story.
Like God Almighty, like what does it bother you if me having an Xbox could play Final Fantasy?
Because then it's not special. They're not special anymore. Not that they were to begin with.
You're not special to begin with. That's the thing.
Like, yeah.
Oh, they're special.
I mean, I guess if you want to say it that way. I mean, I get it. These systems are very expensive.
Yes.
And you want to be able to justify your purchase. You want to be like, man, I spent a lot of money on this. I want it the best of the best because I got this.
But I don't understand the desire to justify it against what other people have or don't have.
That's the thing. Is like
does it bring you joy? Cool.
It brings me joy that your game is not available for you to play
That's
on the console
weird.
you chose.
That's some weird. I don't find joy except in the misery of others, and you should probably work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's somebody you need to see a doctor about.
I have thankfully like blocked the majority of these on Twitter. I'm like halfway away
out
from
the door.
Just like deleting my Twitter. I don't
Join
care anymore.
Me too.
Join me, Drew.
All you gotta do is mute. All you gotta do is find like the GameSpot review Twitter feed and just go through on like a muting spree, and you'd be fine.
Yeah, I mean that's really what I need to do.
Or you could
leave so I can tell you the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Or you could get a 2.5 minute rant about an option in the game, which I'm not going to bring that up.
Yeah, please.
Oh my God! Yeah, that. Jeez.
Have you tried Depends? They're like baby diapers for grown people.
Yeah, like it's. Oh man.
There's a lot of hills that people will die on.
I mean,
a lot of them.
It's wild.
I wish they would die on those hills so I didn't have to keep hearing them.
I just don't understand.
That goes for me too, by the way. I understand.
It's fucking video games.
Right.
Like,
let's have a good time.
Who cares? I don't understand. Like I will never understand so much. Like, my brother in Christ, when you are a PlayStation fan, and I go to your Twitter feed, and the word Xbox is in every tweet that you have ever made, you need to go away. Like, you need to get off of the internet.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
Sure.
I've always said it. Like, I've seen people make, like, these giant rants and, you know, call people names on Twitter, and I look and I see that they're, like, 34 years old and have, like, 2 kids and a wife, and I'm like, does your wife know you do this?
Dude, my wife would never
she
knows. Me live that down.
Yeah.
She know the sad part is that, like, they probably do know, and this is just how to not have to deal with that person.
Motherfucker,
as much.
I buy a lot of cables. Like,
no, listen, I'm not going to talk about you.
But no, just listen to me. Just as an example of, like, your significant other giving you a hard time, I buy a lot of cables. There's not a day goes by where my wife's like, "Did you order a cable today?"
That's funny.
Just fucking rise at me, Like, and that's just a little joke. Can you imagine if I was, like, on the internet, like, I'm going to make a 30-minute rant about pronouns? She'd be like, "What? To who? For what
That's
purpose?"
What we do now, though.
What's the matter?
It's because, like, I don't understand. It's weird to me, and I can't even think of another word to describe. It's just weird. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, dude. I work 45 hours a week. I don't have time to do any of this stuff. I barely have time to play Resident Evil 4.
Like, how do y'all have time to? Like, why are you even so up? Okay, I'm gonna stop because that's a whole other show. Like,
I'm just gonna say this because it's now been brought up. If you don't comprehend the fact that Starfield and I am not even playing the game, but like Starfield and the science fiction that has inspired it, mainly Star Trek, let's be completely honest, that's probably one of the most influential science fiction spacefaring stories of all time, is based off the idea that humanity has moved past the infighting for the most part. If you can't comprehend that, maybe this is not the game for you.
Right.
But it's not the game for them.
But that's my point, though, is what I'm saying. Like, if you can't handle, like, a little option, like, I do not know how you are going to survive in life. Like, I'm surprised you've made it this far. Like, it's an option, guys. Like, if you don't want to engage with it, the option to not engage with it is there. It's the same thing I would say to somebody who's on the other side of the argument, who doesn't like the fact that something exists. Then don't engage with it. It's a video game. You can choose not to buy it.
I could see that man's blood pressure rising in that video, and I'm just
Right.
like, man, that is not the thing my blood pressure would rise over. I'm sorry.
You know what? It doesn't cost anything to shut the fuck up.
No, it doesn't. It's free.
Exactly.
It's free of
Completely
charge.
free.
You don't even have
fuck up.
You don't even have to subscribe to a subscription service. You can just shut the fuck up.
I should do that more often, knowing that it's free. It's probably
none of that.
Yeah, it
probably
don't cost you
me
a dime.
more opening my.
All right, last tweet comes from John. He says, I'm having fun with Starfield. Is it perfect? No, nothing is. This is definitely a Bethesda-ass Bethesda game, and I'm here for it. Also, people need to chill with the hyperbole. Game has an 88 on OpenCritic with 5, quote, bad reviews of about a 7. People will play this for years. You fucking know they will.
I'm going to say something, because I've noticed that it's weird how, like, OpenCritic gives, like, a straight-faced for a 7.
Yeah, that's the other problem, is like
that's been happening for years, though.
I know, I just recently noticed that the person is not smart, because they use a little, I should explain, if you've not used OpenCritic, they show, like, little faces next to the score, just to kind of give you the indication of how people are feeling, and, like, at a 70, especially, like, a 75, they'll still have, like, a straight-faced guy, and it's like, I don't know.
This right here, so...
That's a positive, in my opinion.
This is a 7.
Yeah, a fair. And it's like, I don't know, like, generally a 7
What happened to 5-0? What happened there?
Yeah.
It's just,
This doesn't exist anymore?
6 and below is just straight trash. You didn't know that?
That's because we're the only site that actually covers some of the stuff that's worth those scores.
I don't know, man. Like,
I'm not
do you
kidding.
think
This
there's
is
more
the face
people?
for a 6.
Wow.
Yeah, like that's
Like, it's got flies coming off of him for a 6.
because it means it's shit.
A 6.
That's what happens whenever it's shit. Flies fly around it.
Like, what? Like, no, there have been 6 games I've adored.
I don't get it, man. That's
the lowest one too. Like if it's 60 something or below, that's the lowest tier. Like I said, 6 and below is just straight trash.
Stop putting your opinions into other people's opinions too. That's the thing. Is like, holy crap, man. If read the mechanics of the game. That's the biggest thing. How does this game play? I can't read. I'm just saying, like seriously, like
that sign doesn't stop me because I can't read.
There you go.
Reviews don't matter. Everybody says, "Oh, look at this! It's sitting at an 88." Well, I only play stuff that's 9 or higher. Then you were missing out on some really good stuff.
I'm going to give you a list of games that are below a 9.
Near.
Deathloop, Spider-Man, Resident Evil Village.
I'm sorry.
Returnal.
Spider-Man's a surprise for me.
85.
I figured
85 for Spider-Man.
Okay. Yeah.
Sea of Stars is an 89. Confirmed. Shit game.
Wow.
Shit game confirmed.
Shit game confirmed. So you only play God of War, Ragnarok, Elden Ring. Oh, that's the only 2 above 90. Sorry, that's all you get to play. I'm just looking at the most... Oh, Baldur's Gate. I'm just looking at popular games right now.
Okay.
Those are the only 3 out of 14 that are above 90 of popular games.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It's really stupid. The only reason why reviews and scores exist is for the fuel the fanboy wars.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're good for like getting an idea, but they're weaponized.
Especially between like, I'll be honest, you can kind of see where my tastes are based upon the scores that I give games. But like my scoring and Drew's scoring are going to be very different, because we're different people, and that's how I would look. Because I hate that whole God Hand is worse than Imagine Babies. IGN proved it, or GameSpot proved it with their scores or whatever. And it's like, look at the same writer, not the same publication. That is the determining factor for me. I think on our site, a better example of what we recommend sort of is the price I'd pay.
Price.
Yeah.
Because that'll tell you...
That's a big deciding factor for me.
Right.
If I'll put it this way, what was that? The Chant. The Chant, I think, is a fantastic game. I liked it a lot. But if that game was $60, I'd be like, I'd probably give it a lower score. But it was $39.99. I can handle that. You know, I mean, it depends on a lot of factors.
Yeah, I mean, and even looking at two different people, I promise you, if Ryan would have reviewed Starfield, he would have given it a higher score than I did.
I probably would have, yeah.
Yeah, and that's just the way it is. Just like if fucking Terrence reviewed Mortal Kombat, he would give it a lower score than I would. That's just how that goes.
Like, yeah. So like, because I brought up earlier, Phobia. Phobia was $30. I was like, man, for $30, this is a bargain. But if it came out at the same price as a new Resident Evil game, I would have been like, no, son. Like that game is not worth the price of Resident Evil 2 remake. You know. So I think that's a better example of kind of how to tell, at least on our site, what we think of a game better than the score. Because some games are like we think fundamentally, like, I can't give this more than like a 6, but I'm having a good time with it. Like, do I feel like I'm getting my money's worth is the question.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Which is why Ken gave Immortals of Avium a 6.
Hey, I wish that game was better. I like that game, but it ain't worth $70. Ain't no way.
Well, here's the thing. Since you gave it a 6, it is a pile of shit.
Yeah, it's trash.
Flying around it.
Straight trash.
Look at his hair. It's not even gelled up anymore.
I know.
Mm-mm.
It's fucked up. You can't play games like that.
And he's also naked now for some reason.
Jesus, he went through a lot.
He is.
Good Lord.
All right. Yeah. It's got the flies still cracking me up. I'm sorry. That is it for this week. If you want to X at us, tweet at. I'm still going to call it Twitter. I don't give a fuck. You can tweet at us. That's ZTGD Podcast. But send us emails. Those are the better way. That's the tried and true, the email format.
Yeah.
Podcast at ZTGD.com. That's the email address. Phoenix Down, Drew, you said you're hoping to finish Resident Evil this week?
Yeah, if I can actually do it.
Well,
we'll see.
It is a...
I'm in chapter 11. I think there's 14 chapters, so I got 3 chapters left.
Yeah, I think it's either 14 or 15. I can't remember exactly.
Maybe like a final 15th chapter that's kind of short.
Final boss. But that's it for this week, unless anybody has anything else.
Yeah, I just want to quickly shout out. I don't recall
Peace,
the person.
bitches. No, just...
I do want to say, like, I did take the criticism I got last week from one of the emails. I don't remember who it was, unfortunately. I don't have the emails in front of me.
Airhorn man.
I don't have the emails in front of me, but I just want to say thanks to the person that kind of said, like, hey, you're swearing a bit too much. For some reason you like my rants. You're insane, but whatever. I also wanted to say that, like, because of that, I was already sort of feeling it. Because of that, I also stopped doing pot for the time being, at least. And, like, I've been feeling pretty good again. So, like, I just wanted to thank someone for kind of calling that out, because it was becoming a habit. And you need to kind of point out when somebody kind of brings that to your attention. So I just wanted to say thank you to that listener. How do you feed blood to Grandpa? God damn it.
That was a nice ending. That was good though, man. That was good.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, that's it for this week.
Fuck you, Ken.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I know that's love. Anyway, we're gonna get out of here. Peace, bitches.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.